Good evening, everybody. Coming at you live from the UAlbany Esports Arena. Today we have the pleasure of watching the UAlbany Great Danes against the Stevenson University. My name is Massimo Melagrain, and my co-caster here is Adrian Magno.
It's great to be back, Massimo. Today we're versing Stevenson, like you said. They are in a crisp 3-0 right now in NECC. We saw that UAlbany unfortunately could not win it last week. They unfortunately lost to Dalhousie 0-2, and they are currently 2-1. Today we're starting on Haven, and last time we saw, the first time UAlbany played, we started on Haven, and they really abused C. We saw like Waylay and Sova. And we actually see, UA hovering Sova, and we see Stevenson actually going Waylay Sova, which is really convenient. So, Massimo, what do you think from the UA strategy right now? We're actually opting for Neon this time.
Yeah, so we did see Pata on the Rays last week, and to be honest, we're as commentators, we're not allowed to be biased, but Pata on the Rays last week, it just wasn't working out. So maybe they were trying to re-strategize, get Pata on a different agent, try and see if that would work out better for them. And speaking of last week's match, yes, it was 2-0, but it was not like it wasn't hard fought. I mean, we saw UAlbany come back from an 11-3 deficit on map 2 on Split and almost bring it all the way back, unfortunately losing in a heartbreaking 13-11 defeat. That just pulls at your heartstrings. We really wanted to see that comeback happen.
I agree, Massimo. I mean, unfortunately, no viewer could see it, but I was jumping on my seat waiting for the comeback. Unfortunately, it could not work here. But I am very interested to see what UAlbany has cooking here. We see two duelists in Yoru and Neon, Sova for the Initiator, Omen Smokes, and KJ Scent. KJ is really reliable, as we know, and I wonder if Neon's just here probably to make a little bit more chaos. We know Neon can just really slide into anybody, just one tap with a Bucky.
Well, any good comp needs to consist of at least one dive bomb duelist. We see Waylay for Stevenson here, and for UAlbany, we're opting to run Neon with that wall. It's just such a good tool to use on that entry, and we just see UAlbany here running this super aggressive two duelist comp instead of two initiators, especially with Yoru and Neon. I'm not sure if you've seen it before, but I've seen many clips of Yoru and Neon being very good chemistry-wise working together. So we're going to have to see if UAlbany's cooked up any perhaps duo plays with Neon and Yoru here to use on Stevenson. And we see that UA immediately darting into A main and just fighting A main very heavily. Patat's already pushed up, gets hit by the Deagle, and just trying to take space on defense. And Stevenson has to just smoke it off. We see Devon lurking up C long, possibly trying to take some space for the team to call for a rotate. Maddie kills Patat. Tristan gets Maddie with the ghost. And then Pants into spawn gets Narch. Pyro gets Devon in C long. So now we're just kind of seeing this stalemate here. It's a 3v3 now, equal trades for both teams. And we see Stevenson running up into B site, possibly just going to take the B site and just get the bomb down. And UAlbany's going to have to regroup for this retake. And Tristan gets caught unaware by the whiff from Pants. And Tristan kills Pants in their spawn. And we see Splash lurking through into CT spawn, perhaps trying to find a little pick on someone who's rotating, checking into A. But we see UA is regrouped outside of B onto grass. And they're just going to initiate the retake straight from mid.
No, yeah, Splash being very aware here, but it's really interesting that UA is taking 3 from the same angle. Very atypical there, but I wonder how good.
Tristan on the defuse, sticking it. Splash and Fast, not much they can do. It's smoked off. Splash gets the right click on Tristan, but Bev trades him out. The bomb is halved. Fast has to go in the smoke and gets Pyro and Bev with the 1v2 clutch when the bomb was halved. Oh my lord.
I believe Bev didn't have his pistol reloaded because it looked like he was reloading in the smoke, potentially just kind of whiffing there. That's very unfortunate. Very well done from Fast there. I think he missed the swamp grenade, so unfortunately he did have to go in the smoke. But, very successfully done, and we do see Stevenson opting to get Outlaw. As we know, Outlaw is an amazing buy if you do win the round because it can one-tap light armor. So I wonder if they're definitely going to abuse that here. Probably opting to go for Seek because it's long. But it's going to be difficult to enter Garage here with KJ.
Yeah, we see UAlbany running the same play A main, but Pants gets the pick on Narch with the Guardian. There goes UAlbany's recall, and Fast just gets the pick with the Outlaw, which we know is so powerful. Tristan gets splashed with the Deagle, and Devon gets the Spectre pick on Pyro. And Stevenson just dashes in with the Waylay. Devon gets Tristan as well with the Spectre. And it's just, you know, like it's a common theme. Like, you're not supposed to win this round when you lose on pistol. You're supposed, people who win pistol round are supposed to win this round, because you're just gonna have superior weaponry compared to the full save of the other team. And we just see Devon get the last kill with the Sheriff there. Perhaps a little bit of a disrespectful showing, given that he had the Spectre beforehand.
Yeah, I agree, Massimo. And we were talking about a little bit, you know, Albany having a little bit more aggressive comp, and you know, it is unfortunate that they did lose the first round. So. But we are seeing them still play aggressive somewhat, you know? Like, so I'm very interested to see where that goes. And, you know, I know that it's decently even in weaponry here. It's going to be really interesting. We actually see Yoru playing A this time, 3-stacking A, throwing a TPC. But we see Stevenson doing basically the same thing they've been doing. So I'm very interested.
Yeah, we see UAlbany backing off of A main after what happened the last couple of rounds instead of playing that aggressive. But we see Yoru walk all the way up towards window and just gets picked off by Maddie. Maybe not the best play there, but Pyro gets a trade, and then Splash gets the trade on Pyro again. So now it's a 3v4 in favor of Stevenson, and Stevenson are just going to entry on B. At least, oh, sorry, I'm mistaken. They're actually going to double back towards Garage and try and take the space in Garage. We actually see Waylay holding through the door. Bev trying to get the hold on site, but Spray comes in, nothing going. And lots of stall utility coming in for Stevenson. So Stevenson's going to be able to get the bomb down here. Narch is in Garage. Not sure if they know that Devon is still here in Garage, actually. Splash gets the kill on Patat. Bev gets a trade on Splash. Narch gets a shot on Pants as well. Is aware of the positioning of Fast. Right click comes in for Fast, narrowly missing. And then Devon gets the kill on Narch with the Spectre. So another, like, failed retake for UAlbany here. Just like we kind of saw in the first round, except this time on C. And I just think that the aggressive play from Devon there, pushing all the way into window, was very fruitful. And not only in the fact that he was able to get a pick off of it, but also that he just took that space and put extra pressure on UAlbany. Because when you're retaking C, your only options are CT spawn, Garage, and the flank, which is C long. And since there was no one C long, Devon being in Garage cuts off one of their two options. Also with that door hold, that is in a direct line of sight to the retake. So there's just a chokehold on that C site. And now we see Stevenson all pushing through sewers, looking like they're going to do a heavy hay hit. But we actually see that the bomb is down practically in the spawn with the Killjoy lurking mid. So it looks like it's actually a fake take on A. UAlbany seems to be aware of it, already rotating back towards the CB area. And Stevenson just holding their position strong in A main, perhaps trying to catch any over-rotators off guard. Pants just slowly jiggling this sewers hold. And now we see Killjoy of Stevenson pushing into Garage, just taking so much space. And now we see the Sova of Stevenson doubling back, possibly just to grab the bomb. And heading back towards A, it looks like it's going to be an A hit, but UAlbany's aware. All 5 members of UAlbany are here, but we can't forget about this KJ lurk here. Yoru's actually running back towards Garage, possibly anticipating the lurk due to the lack of, like, noise. And actually now we see Stevenson going back, but Pants is on site. Just gets a pick on Batat after Tristan gets a pick on the lurking KJ. So that's the lurk out of the equation, but now we see Stevenson running towards C, and UAlbany is just going to back off, possibly just try and do this retake again. And just Bev holding mid. Devon gets this orb, and they're just going to be able to take this C site. UAlbany's just forfeiting it to them so they can play that retake.
10 seconds left.
Lurked by Pyro here, almost catching the Viper off guard. Very unfortunate, the whiff there. We're going to see them have to retake here. See 2 Garage, 2 CT. But Stevenson has a really good position here. They have a few smokes down. And we see Splash get a pretty good spray.
Holy spray,
2.
what?
Really difficult here. Pyro gets the refrag. It's going to be very difficult 1v3 here. Stevenson all knowing where he is. Blind comes out. Unfortunately does not get picked off. Looking towards Garage, nobody's there, all on site. And then unfortunate for Pyro there, and you know, very difficult situation there, Massimo. And I mean, we see the retake difficulty so far, and especially 1v3, very difficult to deal with. I also think UA was also just down in their weapons there. They were on sheriffs, and they couldn't unfortunately grab Vandals early enough. also too, I think the thing to take away from that round was that Stevenson's definitely playing for picks there. I mean, they're just trying to get an opening, leaving Spike at spawn, just trying to create space, and they've done it pretty well. We see them, the Viper actually get all the way into A and get a pick, and you know, we just see that snowball out of control.
There.
Yeah, and again, my apologies for muting the mic there for a second. I'm actually just coming off of a little cold, so I am coughing a little bit. So I am a little handicapped right now, and Adrian, you might hear him take over my play-by-play role here just when I'm a little bit out of commission for a few seconds. But anyway, now we see the Omen smoke from Stevenson coming up to Garage, and Stevenson is pushing into Garage, the Silverdrome, but UAlbany's pushed all the way up into C-Long, possibly anticipating again that Stevenson is just going to rotate back towards C-Long. Bomb is still down in their spawn. Stevenson taking space in Garage. We still see the Viper and Omen lurk towards A. Omen shifting towards window, but we see Pants and Patat just fighting right now, exchanging control of sewers, and Pants gets the kill on Patat. There is no trade potential there. That is not a good kill for UAlbany. And we just see Fast sitting in this corner in the Garage, and just all this space that Stevenson is taking is just so beneficial to them. And this C take that Stevenson have right now is just so powerful. But this time it looks like they're actually going to go B, possibly trying to throw Albany off guard. And yeah, they're just going to get the plant down. And UA, just no response to that yet. And Bev gets the kill on Fast, actually, in Garage. That's good awareness by Bev. Narch on A, trying to possibly catch a flank. And now Devon ults into UAlbany on A, misses Narch, turns around. Narch almost catches the timing, but doesn't quite get it. And then, but Narch still gets the kill on Devon. Gets blinded by Omen. The whip by Maddie almost gets killed for that. The right click for Narch. Pants gets a 3K on Tristan. We didn't even see that part. And then Splash finishes Narch off. We didn't see that the Viper got 3 kills that round.
No, that was very excellently done by Stevenson there. Very unfortunate whiffs from the Stevenson players, though, almost giving Narch an opportunity to take that round back. But I think what was interesting there is that UA is learning their kind of what Stevenson's doing. We see Stevenson always getting into Garage, and the UA KJ very aware of that and actually getting the frag there. So UA almost had a foothold in that round. Unfortunately, letting Stevenson get onto B and let him essentially set up B worked really well.
Yeah, so we do see, so we've seen Stevenson usually leave the bomb and spawn towards C, but this time it's towards A, and we do actually see Pants get the pick on Patat, perhaps a little bit too aggressive for Albany there, and then Pants also gets Tristan through the clone. So now it's already a 5v3 favoring Stevenson, and UAlbany just has sheriffs. There's nothing they can do here. Narch is pushed up. Maybe going to catch a timing on Pants. Pants with the flick on Narch. That is a beautiful shot there. Pants is just dominating right now. And Splash gets a shock dart kill on Bev. Like, this is not looking good for UAlbany here. And we also see Stevenson has 3 ults online. And these are possibly the 3 most powerful ults on their team. Just in every situation. Pyro gets a kill on Splash. If possible, that can be a gun for them. But exchanging shots, and Maddie just gets Pyro.
So yeah, like you said, Massimo, Pants doing very well there. I mean, Stevenson's just probably full of confidence right now going into these later rounds. Albany's eco is kind of rough here, you know, they keep bouncing back and forth, and they can't even win these rifle rounds, which is really struggling. I think walking up an A is not working. We actually see a timeout coming out.
Yeah, we do see Pyro take a timeout for UAlbany. And yeah, we can actually see now with the more and more rounds that Stevenson is winning, we see them getting more and more aggressive. So we see on the leaderboard here, just look at this leaderboard. Everyone on Stevenson is positive. We see Pants 9-2 on controller, and then we just see Splash and Devon, both 7 kills. Just Stevenson is just fragging out on UAlbany here, and UAlbany has barely been able to get their hands on good weaponry. We see now going into next round, they will be having practically a full buy. We do see Bev with the regen shield, but to be honest, nowadays, there is actually a meta going around. You don't buy heavy shield, and you just opt for the light shield instead, because even with the light shield, you can still tank 3 shots from a Vandal, and you're still dying in 4 either way. But obviously, like, just heavy shield, or that... is it heavy shield? I think it's heavy shield. Yeah, it obviously you can take more shots from other weapons and whatnot, but the main argument for that is just... you can still take 3 shots with the light shield. But yeah, like I'm saying, we've seen Stevenson just get more and more aggressive here, and we're just gonna see if this timeout can help UAlbany kind of get their bearings and re-strategize for this for these next few rounds of the half.
I wonder if Neon walking up A is too much, and we see him doing it again, but he's unfortunately not getting this pick on the Viper.
Yes, this same 3-man play that hasn't been working. They keep running it, hoping that it'll return something for them. But this time, Stevenson's not even bothering to peek into it. You see Bev holding the pixel on Garage, probably trying to get a pick on the lurking Killjoy on the other team. And we just see Stevenson playing so slow. Tristan not even paying attention. Pants gets 2, almost gets the spray transfer onto Patat, and then Maddie just gets the trade on Patat. And now we already see a 4v2 in favor of Stevenson yet again. The From the Shadows is popped into heaven of A site. Does he know that he's being approached though? Pyro with the whip. That is unfortunate. Gets a dink on Maddie. Maddie's going to try and jump out, but Pyro gets the shot just barely. Standing. And Stevenson is going to get the plant down. Splash doesn't know that he was showing there a little bit. Pyro gets some damage on him too. Pyro misses Fast, and Fast just the superior aim in that scenario. And Stevenson just takes round 7 as well. 7-0.
I think Pyro played excellent there, though. You know, he did get a few head taps, unfortunately, not a kill. But all things considered, it's not a lot he can do there. We see that 3-man play of A. It's just really not working. It kind of looks like they're opting to do it again. I really wonder if UAlbany should just slow down here, but they didn't really prepare for as aggressive as Stevenson would be. And we see Stevenson putting the bomb back towards C, probably trying to revert back to C and Garage push. We see Albany peeking window already.
Opting for the 2-man play instead of 3 with the Yoru going up mid again. This time doubling back before getting picked off from window. The main issue with this play by UAlbany is you can't play fast into a team that is turtling in their spawn, because they will just always have an answer. There's always going to be someone there to trade. And I'm not sure UAlbany have realized that yet. Maybe they have now, considering they stopped calling that play. But we still see them aggressing into sewers. Like, this is very, it's a very big gamble by UAlbany. The Viper Wall comes in. This Viper Wall just so powerful on Haven. It just covers off everything. The clone comes in for Tristan, so Viper is aware of the positioning. The drone comes into Garage. Bev shoots the drone and then nano swarms to try and escape death. And Bev is just holding still in Garage. Now, finally opting to run out, but Fast comes in before he can get out fully and kills him with the Phantom.
Very close on the Bucky kill, almost. We see Waylay entering site, gets killed by Pyro. Unfortunately, didn't succeed. And we see Pants actually get killed by Narch there. Very well done from UA, denying that Waylay entry. But we see Stevenson actually playing B. See Sova ult come out from, I believe, UAlbany. Narch killing Splash, kills the planter, but Bomb does get down. See a KJ ult from backside. That's a very good KJ ult to stall time. It's going to be really interesting to see what UA does here. We see Stevenson kind of playing towards A. I mean, there's not much they can really do. We see Tristan actually kind of rotating around all the way to A. And Fast looking at the smoke, but probably preparing for Pyro coming out. Gets the read. Tristan, last person alive, 1v1 here, only with a Sheriff though. Probably going to have it here. Then Tristan does win the 1. Very well done from UA there. They successfully did take this retake. Thank God, because have not seen them do that too well today. But maybe this will be a nice pivot, regaining confidence and knowing that they can actually get a retake there. I do think Stevenson still played that really well though.
They did, and the fake Waylay entry onto C was just, it was such a good diversion. But then we did see Narch come in with the Hunter's Fury, and just that beautiful read on where they were planting. Just gets the pick on the planter to stall a little bit more time. But we just saw Stevenson, like, they had so many ults online and they used them well. But UAlbany luckily were able to win their fights. And we did see UAlbany actually just win their first round of the game. And again, I apologize. If you're just tuning in now, I am a little bit under the weather. So Adrian will be covering for me if I do feel a little bit if I'm coughing a little bit. Anyway, enough of that. So we do actually see Stevenson doubling back out of A, but we see Pants remaining in A main, possibly just going to get droned out here by Sova. And yeah, he's going to want to leave here. And is he going to commit the orb to get out? See Pants and Narch exchanging shots. Pants probably thinks he can win this one, but now we see Devant coming in with the support. And we just see Stevenson. We see the KJ of Stevenson taking space in Garage. Pants gets Narch, actually. And now they're just gonna be able to lave A main. And Pants gets Patat. This is like, these are just really bad frags for UAlbany here. Is that a Molly lineup from Pants there? And then we see Pyro get Devon and Bev get Fast. So now it's a 3v3 situation. Good frags by UAlbany there. But we do see Stevenson is going to get the plant down on site. And this is going to be an A retake for UAlbany. And we actually do see the lockdown popped for UAlbany. And Splash just gets it over with the Hunter's Fury. Pants kills Pyro and Splash gets Bev. Tristan kills Pants. Pyro got one before he died. Is Tristan aware of the positioning? He's just trying to retake the site. This is another 1v1 scenario for Tristan. And Splash just sitting in this corner. And Tristan doesn't see him. The almost whiff by Splash. Tristan didn't react in time, and that's just another round one for Stevenson, 8-1.
I think Tristan had the opportunity to flick that there. That was almost very close. You know, Splash kind of whipping a little bit and only hitting body shots right there. So it could have actually ended not too well for Stevenson there. But I really thought Albany was going to win that one, Massimo. You know, we saw the KJ ult come out, so it kind of would force Stevenson out, but I believe Sova broke it.
The Hunter's Fury, yes. So they actually this change happened a while ago, but now it takes all 3 bolts from Hunter's Fury to kill the lockdown. So that is a big commitment. It's an ult for an ult, and it just worked out for Stevenson there. It allowed them to get the plan. As we see Devon get the pick on Pyro, and then Patat gets the eventual trade on Devon actually. And we see Stevenson showing some presence out of B, and then Maddie gets the pick on Tristan before Tristan can TP out. We see Bev with the flank, possibly trying to avoid a timing here. The trigger discipline, that is a great heads-up play from Bev there. However, does gets traded out by Fast. Narch gets a pick with the Marshall on Fast as well. And now we just see Stevenson is running towards A, knowing that they're going to have this site for free in this 2v2 situation.
Yes, and we see the UA Sova going backside. Neon probably going to rotate around, grab a Vandal. It's very smart. They were on pistols. And once again, UA playing this retake. Sova, both using drones there, just trying to find each other. I wonder if he's going to see, if he saw Viper there. I'm not sure. Probably still unsure, actually. We see Neon going Stewart, unfortunately dying to Splash. And we see only a Marshall. Heaven does have Dart, but we see Pants just staring at Heaven, and still unsure if Narch may know there. Now with the Molly, you're gonna have to respect the Molly, and this is just a very difficult situation. Still jumping in the Molly, they don't know what exactly the plan is. It dies to fall damage. That was very unfortunate sequence of events. We know that
Pants had the flank into Heaven anyway. That round was very much won for Stevenson, and this is just a dominant attack half by Stevenson there. And yeah, so I'm not sure what UAlbany is gonna do here to try and end this half 9-3. That's about the best they can hope for. They do have the 3 ults. They have the Dimensional Drift and the From the Shadows. I'm not gonna lie, I forget what Neon's ult is called, but either way we have 3 ults online for UAlbany here compared to Stevenson's 1. However, it is a very strong ult in the Waylay's ult.
I agree.
With that slow, it's just really big. But Pants gets a pick on Tristan, Maddie gets Bev, and then Pyro gets Maddie. So that is smokes down for Stevenson actually, which could prove to be very useful for UAlbany here. We do see the Yoru get taken out with the Dimensional Drift, and Pyro, nice shot onto Splash and C Long there. And we just see Stevenson ganged up outside of C Long here. Just gonna do the C take. Devon pops the ult, possibly hoping to catch one. Misses the dash on top of the box. It's not gonna matter though. He still gets Pyro. And then we just see Pants, and we just see the entirety of Stevenson planning on C. And we see both UAlbany players on flank. Patat makes his presence known by getting Fast. Dashes into sight, throws the shock bolt, and Patat gets Pants after Pants misses the spray on him. Devon gets Patat, and then Narch trades out Patat and kills Devon. And that is UAlbany's second round win on defense this half.
I think, Patat showing up, kind of clutched up for UA there, getting the frag and the KJ, then successfully detecting where Waylay was, just checking the site. So I think the Patat did, when time mattered, did clutch up there, which was very important for UA. And I think it's very, very unfortunate, the sequence of events for Stevenson there. The Waylay missing the dash, still getting the frag, but, the UA quickly rotating to get the flank. And we see, once again, Stevenson, putting Spike C, but this time we're probably going to drop it, very default from Stevenson. But we actually see Waylay and Sova going C, probably being a little aggressive. We saw this place very similar to UA. But once again, we see Stevenson just kind of turtling in sight, looking for these picks. So it's just going to be a matter of time to see what they do.
Yeah, playing this default very well. We've seen that Stevenson is very effective with this default play. We see Tristan and Pyro just both push into the C-long smoke, maybe trying to get a cheeky little pick in. And this is the last round of the half, so UAlbany is on the best weaponry they could possibly afford going into this. We do know that Stevenson's economy is very rich compared to UAlbany's here. Patah gets spotted by the drone just before it goes down, I believe.
But I wonder, he must have heard the drone, so I really wonder why he would just reveal himself there.
Maybe it was intentional, who knows? And now we see Stevenson just doing this dual prong push onto A. The waylay dash comes in. Patah, unfortunate timing there for Patah. Couldn't quite kill Devon. Gets the judge shot on Splash though, but fast trades out Patah. And Narch also got one of his own beforehand. And now we see Fast with the Odin on Narch. And I think UAlbany's a little bit traumatized by that Odin from last week. That we saw Galen just abusing the hell out of that thing. And now we see Tristan trying to retake with the Vandal. Devon has a judge though, and gets a shot, and Pants kills Pyro, and that is a 10-2 half.
I believe Devon picked up that judge from Patah. Really shocking to drop a Vandal for a judge, but I guess when you're on 20 HP, you might as well try to get a one-tap at close range than try to take a gunfight far. But, very excellent half there for Stevenson. I mean, we kind of saw them change their play at the end there, all opting to go A, but even then, very dominant attack there. So I wonder if their defense is going to be just as good, or if UA is going to surprise us with a good attack half here.
Yeah, and that's what we call a heads-up play there. What Waylay did there, Devon, picking up that judge never really seems like the right decision to make, but it just paid off there, and that's why we call that a heads-up play, because he just made that decision, and luckily enough for him, it worked out. And now we see UAlbany showing lots of presence outside of C, but it looks like Stevenson actually has the read here. And then we do see the KJ lurk from mid, but excuse me, just the three people on C, just this whole, the Viper wall, the Viper smoke, the Molly, they're just stalling so much time to allow the team to rotate. But we see Splash take this position in A, and then Bev gets a pick on Fast, which is actually very advantageous
Do they know
for UA, but Splash is here. Pyro with the flick on Splash with the classic. That's actually a beautiful shot. And now we see UA doubling back again, back towards C, their initial take. We see Tristan still stood here, did not rotate with the team. So now this is some extra space that they got to keep. Tristan perhaps trying to hope to catch a C flanker through C long. And now we just see UA with this take. We see Patah actually get blinded by Pyro there. And UA is just going to get the plant down on this C site. And now it's a 5v3 in favor of UAlbany.
I think Bev might just hear the people rotating over. Luckily, UA had a free sight. Bev's going to still lurk here. Might get the guy window. Does get the eye window. Really
beautiful shot by Bev there. They're going to re-swing to try and get a trade. Bev gets all three for the 4K. That is a flawless attack round for UAlbany here.
That was very well done by Bev. I mean, dare I say, kind of unexpected lurk, because lurks are very unexpected, especially in pistol rounds. You don't expect somebody to be so confident with a pistol, but as Bev showed, he's very confident with the ghost. And kind of very smart by UA tricking Stevenson there, getting all three of them to rotate to A and having an open sight. So I wonder, maybe that's a good sign for UA. Winning the first round is somewhat important. You might just be able to just tackle on more and more rounds, especially with their weapons up. And we actually see them, Stevenson doing the very similar play that UA did, running up kind of
with
window,
a lot more people.
Almost the whole team. Very aggressive play.
And you see Bev with the ghost again. Didn't buy a weapon, and then Fast just gets the pick from Garage. They forced, it seems like. And now we just see UA take the C site, knowing that Stevenson was showing a lot of presence outside of B, and now they're just going to get the plan on C, but this time for this retake, it's actually an even matchup 4v4. So we're going to have to see how Stevenson is going to play this. Like we said earlier, the retake on C is very difficult if the attacking team has presence in Garage, but as of this moment, it doesn't seem like they're holding from Garage, because we actually see Pants in Garage, get Pyro, Narch gets Maddie, and then Pants gets Tristan. Pants getting two. Patah also got a pick of his own. Patah catches Fast reloading, and then Narch gets Pants. So that's 2 rounds straight for UAlbany. And the entirety of UAlbany didn't even force or buy weapons there. Like, we saw Bev with the Ghost. Like, so UAlbany's eco is flourishing right now going into this buy round for Stevenson. But again, Stevenson forced last round, so they won't even be able to go on full buy. It's more like a half buy for them.
I think that aggressive play by Stevenson wasn't as smart as they think it was, because Bev seeing almost 3 people mid, he can come to his team and say, I saw 3 people mid, there's either one person on site or it's an open site, and we saw Albany take that space.
Yeah, the only opponent there that they had to be wary of was the Killjoy and Garage, and then we just see Pants get an early pick on Pyro. So that is UAlbany smokes down completely, which is a very bad thing for any map or for any site on this map. There are so many angles to hold on this map that those smokes relieve you of, and now that you don't have them, it's just very bad. We see fast spot Tristan, but just gonna back off. Not gonna take that gunfight. And we see UAlbany flexing towards B, probably the easiest site to take on Haven without smokes. But Maddie gets the pick on Bev anyway through the neon wall. Patak gets spotted by the by the Sova drone, and Tristan and just UAlbany is on B, but they aren't even aware of the person sitting in the corner on B site, and now they're just gonna run towards A, and they're just gonna take A, I believe, yeah, and get the bomb down. Are they aware of Devant in main though?
Spike planted. And we see the rest of Stevenson, crowding around UA. You in a very difficult spot here. Sovdrone kind of messing up here, but did see KJ. I don't know
did not see Maddie though.
Yes.
Patal in this very obvious corner just gets taken out through the wall by Maddie, and then Pants gets Tristan and Maddie gets Narc as well. There's just that was a great retake by Stevenson there. So we do see what happens when Stevenson still has their numbers compared to UAlbany there.
I do think UA could have played that better. Unfortunately, the Soldier messing up there could have saw all the people there. I believe there's 3 almost where the CT was. But yeah, just very unfortunate from UA, and these critical rounds where it's just very close. It is not something you want to see, and we saw it the first time. I think we mentioned it a little bit at the start, but we see UAlbany does love playing C, but we see that Stevenson's 3-stacking C, which is not good for UAlbany. If they're very practiced in C, just from almost 4 towards that side is not good. And once again, Stevenson's getting the read on them, and we see Pyro being a little aggressive up B here. Pants trades Tristan, and then a bunch of back and forth. UAlbany down into 3. Stevenson up a person, which is good. I wonder if Bev is going to be able to get a pick on Splash here. It's going to be very interesting. But
we do see the that UAlbany is just. They're just those 2 early picks yet again. Their smokes are down now. We already established how hard it is to take a site on this map when you don't have any smokes present. And we see Splash just doing this hold on A main, deciding to back off before he sees anything. And now we see Patat exchanging some shots in Garage with Maddie and Fast. And Patat is just gonna back off after taking a couple of shots from Maddie. And now we just see Stevenson on A, B, and C, possibly very confident in their hold on the site. Splash kills Patat. Splash is still alive, gets taken out by Narch with the operator. Didn't even see that he bought that. The dart comes in. Bev gets the pick on Maddie. That dart didn't seem very useful considering Bev was already pushed up that far. But who cares? Bev got the pick anyway. We see Fast on the flank in sewers. Narch holding CT with the op. And Bev gets the kill on Pants. But now Fast is on site and Narch gets the kill on Fast. So now we see UAlbany turning around. That op that we know they love to use is already getting some value for them on attack.
And I know it's a very small detail, but Narch was very smart there. I believe he grabbed Splash's Vandal that they won in the gunfight and put it under and held with him. So in case the op in that situation didn't work out there, he had 2 weapons. So very small detail, but I think it was helping there.
Yeah, that is very well played by UAlbany there, especially by Narch. That again, another heads-up play by them, and it just paid off. And now we just see Splash throwing the standard dart into A main, but Devant gets a pick on Pyro, and yet again for the third round in a row, the Smokes is the first person to go down for UAlbany here. And we see Patat trying to take space in sewers, but really nothing going. And yeah, we even see the Viper Orb come in. on A. We actually didn't see. Sorry, the Viper's pit was popped on C, which is just gonna completely deteriorate UAlbany's chances of taking that C site. And we actually do see the bomb is still left in A, so they were possibly planning to rotate over to C. But after the Viper's pit was popped, I don't believe that they're gonna try and contest that. And we see Bev actually lurked up all the way towards B, possibly try to get a kill on like an over rotator or something like that. Oh, excuse me. And I'm drinking a lot of water, so anyway, we see UAlbany grab the bomb, and now they're pushing up A main, and with this op, just trying to get any pick that he possibly can. Oh, the jump peeker. That is a great hold. Unfortunately, not quite the reaction time he needed there. Now we see Batat take on side, but Splash is holding the corner there. Just gets taken out before he ever even saw him. Narch gets Devon, Maddie gets Narch, and then Tristan with the jumping right click on Splash. And then we see Bev and Fast just having this lurk duel in mid, but then Pants comes in with the assist for Fast and kills Bev. So now it's a 1v3 situation. 10 seconds left on the clock. You'd have to think that he'd save this op, but no, he's actually just planting the bomb. And surely they're just going to flood this site knowing that he has an operator. Misses the shot with the op, and now not only is the op in their hands, but it's 5-12 in favor of Stevenson. So not only are they one round away from winning, but you just gave them the most powerful weapon in the game. And UAlbany's eco is terrible.
Match point.
Yeah, that is not a good eco you want to see there. Almost half the team being almost under like 3K credits, sorry. And that was just very unfortunate round from Albany. I think Stevenson might have got the red on them. They know that Spike usually sits in spawn, and reading that they basically closed off C, which is kind of the intended play by Albany, and I think that was their intended play. You know, Albany just really had not much to do there. Unfortunately, I think Neon didn't do as much as they wanted in this game. Messed up.
You see Bev missing up the swarm grenade immediately off the bat.
These lineups are not working.
Just nothing going for UAlbany this game. 5-12. We see Fast hiding in this cubby created by the Viper wall. It's just so much good utility usage out of Stevenson here. But the Narch comes in with the Hunter's Fury, gets the kill. Fast gets the kill on Patat, and then Pyro gets the kill on Fast with the Marshall. So now we actually see some guns in possession for UAlbany. Tristan gets Maddie, and then Devon holding that op from last round gets Tristan. And then Devon also gets Pyro with the op. For a moment there, it looked like he wanted to dash in, but Stevenson, yeah, no, we didn't even see it. What? Stevenson just wins map 1, and that is a dominant win for Stevenson there.
Defenders win.
Very dominant.
This team's
And
shaping up
I'm
for something.
shocked that we didn't see this Hunter Fury kill there. But Masma, I think the main takeaway from that is that the Neon Yoru play didn't work. We saw Yoru and the Hunter's Fury on the UA side work pretty effectively. We saw Tristan reveal where people were, and that did work. But the Neon play I don't think it worked too well. They didn't really enter sight and didn't really create as much chaos as we were thinking. And that comes very apparent on the leaderboard. We see both duelists at the bottom. That is kind of not what you want to see.
It's like the opposite of what you want to see. But also, Pence had himself a game. Like that,
definitely.
25 and 10 and 9, almost a triple-double there for Pence. And that's even the things that you don't really see on like the normal box score, like the econ rating of 111, that's an insane amount of value to get out of your gun compared to, like, let's see the bottom frags of UAlbany, 28 and 30 econ score in comparison. Like, that is just outrageous. So not only do I believe that Stevenson had the better strategy for this map, I also just believe that they were just having themselves a better game. But anyway, with that, we'll be back when map 2 starts. See you soon. And welcome back, everybody. We're here for map 2 of UAlbany versus Stevenson University. Right now we're on Pearl, which we actually saw UAlbany ban last week in their matchup against Dalhousie. So we're just going to have to see what kind of strategies they come up with for this Pearl matchup here.
Yes, Massimo, and we were talking about it a little bit. We forgot to mention that Haven was Albany's map pick, which is not what you want to see. You do not want to lose on your own map pick. And especially that map that you may not like Pearl, like you mentioned, is definitely not a good way to start this. And we see UA opting again for this Neon Yoru play, and similarly KJ, but this time swapping out for Fade and Astra. Very interesting, because I think last time they played Pearl, they played like a Taeho Phoenix thing, which was very interesting. And we see Stevenson going for KO Astra. Astra is very prominent on this map, I believe, including Fade.
Astra is the prominent smoker on this map for sure. It's I believe it's Astra and Harbor predominantly,
Yes.
and just Astra is so good on this map with those post plants and Fade is honestly the predominant initiator on this map. So we actually do see Fade for both teams, and again we see UAlbany opting for this 2 duelist setup here with Tristan on Patat on Yoru and Neon respectively, and we just see Fast here hovering the KO and Pants hovering the Astra. We do anticipate them locking this in though.
Of course. And, I wonder if the Yoru Neon play, and we do see them confirm it real quick, I wonder if this Neon Yoru play is going to work any better or any worse on Pearl, because, we didn't see it really work too well in Haven as much as we wanted to, because I believe the intended purpose is kind of create chaos when entering site. We see Neon just running in, stunning people, throwing a wall, just being a real menace. Then Yoru, just TPing in, and once again also being a menace. We didn't really see that in Haven, so I wonder what the approach is going to be here on Pearl. And we see that I believe UA is on defense to start. Massimo, what do you think the setup's going to be? Like, who do you think is going to play what site?
Well, we do see KJ Bev here for UAlbany. It looks like he's going to be playing on A. We're not sure if he's going to shift yet. Honestly, though, I will say when I'm on Pearl in my comp games, I'm playing Yoru. I love Yoru. And Pearl is such a rotation-heavy map, so having that TP there to just utilize whenever you need it on defense is just so amazing.
And we see, once again, Stevenson doing their similar play of dropping Spike and being real menaces. We see Astra actually lurking very dangerous. He's being very aggressive on A. Tristan holding site gets KO knife, so he is spotted there. And we see, actually, because of that, Stevenson splitting up as they usually do, just trying to look for these early picks.
Yeah, we do see Stevenson just util baiting here with the bomb down towards B. That we do see that their final destination is most likely going to be the B site. They're just trying to force some rotates over towards A, maybe bait some util just to make that B site takes that much easier. We see Pyro spot the Astra of Stevenson, both opting to jump peek as well. Perhaps they share a brain cell now that they're playing the same agent. And Pyro just calling to the team that Pants is still here with the lurk. And now we see Stevenson now initiating that rotation. But actually, no, it looks like they're doubling back. Stevenson and UA just exchanging shots through Art. And they're just going to back off yet again. And now we do see the rotation coming in. Pants is taking space through B long. And we still do see that Astra of UAlbany is the only one present on B site. We see 4 people outside of A left for UAlbany, and here comes we see Pyro just jiggling this site, anticipating the push, but Pyro against the entirety of Stevenson, I'm not sure how much he can do there, especially now that he's been smoked off. And now we just see the entry by Stevenson here, and they're just going to get this plant down. There is nothing UAlbany can do about it. They're all coming through B-Link, though, and CT, so this 2-pronged retake is going to probably be a little bit dangerous for Stevenson here. You see the flash come in, but it's turned. Devon gets Patat, Bev gets Maddie, and then Devon gets Pyro as well. Devon gets 2, but Bev gets Devon finally. And now we know Fast is Halls. And Tristan gets a nice shot on Splash, anticipating the flank through Heaven. Narch gets Fast, and now it's a 3v1 situation in favor of UA. Pants trying to play this post plan, but there's just too many people. Pants gets Tristan, though. So now it's a 2v1. Trying to pull Bev off the bomb, but the bomb is halved, which is very good for UAlbany, and then Narch just wins the gunfight against Pants, which means your UAlbany Great Danes have won the pistol round on Pearl on defense.
Thank God, because we saw last time didn't do too well in those pistol rounds, but in the retakes for that matter. But we actually see them successfully take that retake there. I think just winning these gunfights in general, we saw that Stevenson was pretty low in all those fights, and I wonder if they're just gonna stick to their plan of splitting up and just keep looking at these picks. What do you think, Massimo? What do you think the game plan is for both teams after that first round?
Well, we did see Stevenson again with that default that they just keep doing. They did the same thing on Haven, and matter of fact, we actually see Stevenson even after losing that pistol round forcing some Eagles there to try and play some get some picks on the guns that UAlbany have. But Todd just scaring the Waylay away with, Devant away with the shock bolt there, and we just see Fast taking space through A main. The bomb is still down towards towards B though, so Fast just looks like he's gonna sit in this corner and try and catch any over rotators. But we see UAlbany actually pushing in through Art. Maddie gets spotted by UAlbany and just gets double swung. Patat gets Maddie, not after doing some major damage to them, and then Splash. The exchange of shots with Tristan, but Tristan gets Splash and Devant, and then we just see Pans just with the bomb going back towards A thanks to all the space that was taken by Fast. And now just going to hold while he's walking towards the A site. But it seems like UAlbany is aware. We even see the rotate by KJ. Narch holding with the Bucky. Gets Fast. Not quite sure what the plan was there for Fast. Maybe trying to get a gun to try and help with that site hold after they get bombed down. But yet again, we see Pans in a 1v5 situation here. It wasn't a 1v5 last time, but either way, it's a 1v a lot of people. So, and we see Pants get a pick on Tristan. So Pants does get spotted by the fake off though, and then Patat with the slide on Pants gets him with the Spectre.
Massimo, I was very curious there because we saw that the Stevenson KO actually took the site and basically cleared it and walking to Art. So I'm very curious why the Astra just slow walking instead of actually going to the site and playing together with his teammate. I mean, yes, there could be someone there, but the likelihood of somebody clearing a site and missing one person even is not going to say not going to happen, but
it's relatively low.
Relatively low.
So, and I just think there was a couple of misplays there by Stevenson. With Fast pushing into connector, I'm assuming his plan there was to look for a weapon or try and look for a pick to get a weapon, I mean. But it just didn't work out. It was the exact wrong person you wanted to run into there. The only person on UAlbany that actually had a shotgun that round. And just in a close range battle, you're never going to win that with the Classic. And we see Patat get spotted by the KO knife and just going to back off instead of fighting for A main here, which is probably the right decision considering Stevenson is showing presence there with 3 people. They actually have the bomb in their presence as well. They haven't left it in their spawn again. And we just see Narch holding this angle with the Bucky. Tristan gets a op kill on Pants. That's a very early round to have an op in. That is a heavy investment. And now I do believe that Tristan actually pushed all the way up B long to get that op
I
pick.
was a little confused.
So
Someone died the whole way back there.
Conversely to the first 2 rounds, Astra is actually the first one to go down as opposed to the last one for Stevenson. So that is Stevenson's smokes down for this round. And kind of like Haven, smoke's just such a great thing to have on this map. Like, obviously, that goes for every map, but Pearl especially, it's again one of those maps where there's so many games that can be held that you just want to get rid of those possible just angles to get peeked on. And now that Astra's dead, you just don't have that. And we see Devon with the whiff on Patat. Narch gets lucky kill on Splash and Maddie. Narch with this Bucky is getting so much value. That's 3 kills in 2 rounds. And that is a flawless round for UAlbany. And now they've picked up the rifles of Stevenson from their bye round. So this is really going good for UAlbany as opposed to last game.
Yes, I agree. Narch topping the leaderboards with basically Bucky, like you said, 3 kills in 2 rounds. And Albany's eco is just, like you said, flourishing this time around because, Narch didn't buy there, so they opted for the Bucky getting 2. And just very well done by Albany here. That they're actually ahead this round, which is really good. Kind of odd that it's the Stevenson map pick, and it's pretty opposite.
Well, let's not speak too soon, because I do want to see a map 3. But Tristan gets another kill on Pants. Pants just trying to take space for the team, maybe a little bit overzealous there. knowing that they still had the op too, but definitely a risky play. Maybe the recall on the star came down a little bit too early, and Tristan just spotted him and got the pick with the op. So now yet again, Stevenson's smokes are down, and we just see them showing lots of presence outside of Art instead of A main this time. But UAlbany's fighting it beautifully. Now they're pivoting over towards the B link, and Pyro hears them, uses the pull, and then just backs off because Devon just dashes in. And then Tristan with the op kill on Devon, still holding that beautiful angle after the map rework. And then we see Pyro get Splash and Maddie, and then Bev gets fast. That is just another flawless round for UAlbany there. And Tristan is just getting so much value with this op. And now we actually see UAlbany working together to peak, because the last thing you want to do when your enemy's on an eco is give them guns. And when you peak together, the likelihood of both of you dying is relatively low. So UAlbany is actually playing this beautifully.
And we saw last time, you know, they kind of took these 1v1 gunfights and it didn't really work out for them, as, you know, we saw them walk up A long on Haven. So I'm glad that they're actually, you know, taking the time to be aware that they're playing with each other. And we see that Stevenson's opting to go B, full push B altogether. Really, you know, different here.
Alright, Tristan gets a pick on Devon.
He's feeling confident right now. And we still see Stevenson going into B.
Yeah, and now we actually see another side of Stevenson here. They're playing way more aggressive. The Waylay is down, though, for the entry. But Stevenson is still on the site, though. We see KO and Hawes, and Fade is getting the plant down on default. And now we just see Tristan and Heaven smoked off with the op. Gets the flick shot on Fast. And that is just a beautiful shot.
And we see the rest of Stevenson just trying to piece this all together. We see Tristan pop the Aura ult there. Very good ult for the intel there, not knowing where the rest of Stevenson were. And we see Pyro finishing up the rest of Stevenson there. I think the Aura ult was very well placed there. You know, they did not know where the rest of Stevenson was and said, let's just confirm this round. And either way, Tristan's getting so many kills and probably grabbing ult Orb eventually, so that, you know, he's really producing ult. And we actually see Stevenson getting a timeout here. I mean, it's kind of still really mirroring Albany and Haven, just trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah,
very reminiscent of each other.
We saw the dimensional drift pop there by Tristan, and honestly, instead of using it as like a killing tool, they used it as just a distraction and information, like, oh, he's here. And then because you have that lurking presence, the ominous presence of the dimensional drift, you know, that aura on your screen that shows up when you're in the Aura's line of sight, like, that just scares Stevenson. Like, that's like constant red alert. Like, you need to be aware that the Yoru might unult on you in any second, and that'll take your mind off of the actual gunfight that you're presently in.
Mm-hmm. I agree, Massimo. And almost another flawless round from Albany, by the way. I believe only one person. I believe Tristan might have died there at the end, but even so, like, another great round from Albany. And
we actually do see that all the deaths of the UAlbany players combined equal the deaths of one singular player on
That is
Stevenson.
A very good point, Massimo. Absolutely. And we see, I think Stevenson might focus just trying to full push site here. I think the Waylay's not doing as much as they want to. They're not really entering. They're playing for picks, and it's kind of difficult with your entry frag, you know, especially that they died so early last round. And we kind of see that, you know, they're not dropping bomb separately. They're just kind of playing together. I think, you know, we have to see that work out.
Yeah, so we're seeing just Stevenson is fighting for Art and A main. So we do see the Waylay take lots of space into Art and then just do the recall all the way back towards mid. Maybe just afraid of that fight with Narch. And we do see that the Fatal is online if he wants to pop it. I'm not sure they'll invest it, though, now that they have the weaker weapons.
And Waylay used her dashes, I believe, to get into Art, and didn't successfully get a pick there. So they're not really, they're going to struggle.
We see the Waylay ult. Looks like it's about to be popped.
Maybe Waylay and Fade at the same time, just going to gun these people down. This is just
getting ready to explode here by Stevenson, and it looks like they're executing now.
Yep.
The Waylay ult comes in. No dashes though for Waylay though, so just walking in the site with Bucky. Tristan gets the kill on Devant with the op, and then Pants gets Patat, getting pushed by Fast, misses with the op, so the spray comes in for Fast and gets Tristan. Now it's a 2v4 in favor of Stevenson. Bev gets one on Maddie. Splash is extremely low. One shot will kill, and then Bev. The whiff from Pants. So Bev lives and then just dies anyway for Pants. And it's a 1v1 situation. Narch versus Pants. Sprite comes in. Narch is aware of the positioning. Turns around. Unfortunate timing there. Not quite caught. And then Pants wins the gunfight against Narch. And Steven gets the thrifty against UAlbany. And that is the first round win.
That was a very interesting round, to say the least. I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit before, but, you know, on those eco rounds, grabbing one Vandal can switch the whole round around. We saw that with the KO on the Stevenson side. Just grabbing one, I think somebody got the first pick. He grabbed the Vandal and fragged two, and that's what you want to see, especially on eco rounds, and you know, especially on a site take like that.
Yeah, and now we see Stevenson. They won a round, so they're thinking they can play off of this momentum, and then we just see Patai run into A again, and just gonna back off again. Stevenson has made it pretty abundantly clear that they're gonna fight this A main. The shot from Tristan there almost connects actually through the smoke. Stevenson's a little lucky that one didn't hit on one of their players, and now we just see Tristan holding B main, which is just, you know, with this op, considering he had max credits beforehand, like he was just able to buy another one. And we actually see Stevenson is pretty far pushed up on both sides of the map, but the bomb is just left in spawn, so they will have to double back and grab it. Maybe that strategy is backfiring, especially now that they have all the space in connector, or sorry, in B-Link. But we do see that the Neon and Fade, Narch and Pata are taking space and connected.
I don't know if they saw
but doubling back, maybe like thinking they're being held. Spray by Pyro comes in, gets Maddie.
Very good timing. Valorant timing, as it's called, as we all know.
And we do see it's going to be a B exec. And then we see Pants get Bev, and then Pyro gets Pants with the trade. And then we see Tristan and Heaven with the Alpha yet again. Splash gets Narch and Pata, and then Tristan gets Fast, and then Pyro gets Splash.
They do not have spike down, so it's going to be very difficult for Devant here to finish this round, potentially. Gonna have to play only about 30 seconds. He knows Tristan's at Heaven with Op. And actually we see both of them playing Heaven really smart, so Tristan cannot get jumped.
Trying to plant in halls. I'm not sure what was going on there. And then we see Tristan jump peeking, maybe seeing if it was a fake plant. And then we see Devant just dash away to try and play from B-Long. But they're just... The wall bang with the op comes in. 34 HP. Now one shot to pretty much everything. Flash comes in. It's turned. And then we actually see Tristan grab the Phantom there to try and help Pyro out as much as possible there. And then we see Pyro actually close out the 4K on Stevenson there. And Tristan is just going to grab that up, get the ult orb from the defuse, and just going to carry on with their lives.
I think that was a very good attempt from Devant there. You know, very unfortunate. That was, once again, an excellent wallbang from Tristan, though. Getting Devant down to, I believe, 34 HP, so it will be, you know, one bullet. But, you know, effort is effort. And we see that Stevenson might be force buying one Vandal, 3 shares as of now in a Classic. Kind of like a half buy, like, kind of a weird just buy.
Yeah,
here,
we'll call this a half buy because we see Pants with the Vandal and Light Shield is still pretty much at the same amount of credits as his teammates that are buying Deagles and Light Shield. So their eco is still pretty balanced. But we do only see one Vandal for Stevenson. Tristan with the op shot through the smoke again. Almost getting caught off guard by the smoke being called by Astra there. And then Splash. Just going to back out at A main with Devant. Knowing that there's really nothing going there. They're afraid of the op hold. But little do they know, the op is actually running straight towards B site.
Mm-hmm. And we see both teams just playing really spread out here. Bev almost getting kicked off there with a Sheriff. That is not what you want to see. KJ is basically 1 HP. And we see Pants kind of staying at B for his team as we see most of them rotating over by now. We still see the Whaley trying to get a alert. But it definitely looks like they're trying to end B once again. It's going to be very difficult here. After Pie's just going to mess up Heaven with her smokes, creating that one-way. And, you know, soon to enter site here, Whaley's also 1 HP, so 2 people on 1 HP, pretty even. On Heaven again with Op. It's going to be very interesting here. Always got to play the retake here. Interesting that Fasting killed any faster there, dare I say. Maddie's still in mid. The KZ ult on the lockdown from UA is going to push them off the site. I'm going to try and stick here. Yeah, I would honestly just hold it here as Tristan's just holding Heaven. They're going to have to peek out. Tristan gets Maddie, Devon gets Pyro, and Bev cleans up the rest. 1 HP, 5 to 1 HP, still 1 bullet. Very well done by UA there, you know. Being that low and still successfully winning around.
That's a beautiful retake, and that wall or the Astral Divide by Pyro there just works so well. Unfortunately, Bev wasn't able to kill Devant before they got UA off the defuse. That could have gone really badly, but luckily Bev with the clutch shots, with finishing out the 3K there and just winning UA the round.
I think that was a really excellent done ult by UA there. You know, the KG ult forcing them off site and the Astro wall to cut them off. It was kind of like a forced situation there, so really well done by UA there.
That was a great combination of ults, yes. And now we see Stevenson just looks like they're bum rushing down A, taking this orb, trying to get one orb closer to that Waylay ult, which we know is very strong. We see Narge with the counterplay Fade ult, with the Odin spam coming in. Doesn't matter though. The lockdown and Maddie just gets Narch, and then Pyro gets fast. It's a 4v4 situation, but Stevenson does have the sight thanks to the lockdown. Patat exchanging shots with Splash and Devant. And then we see Devant actually pop the ult into UAlbany's spawn, and this is really bad for UAlbany here. Pyro gets Devant anyway, despite being slowed, and then Tristan gets splat. It's actually backfired very badly for Stevenson here. Now it's Pants in a 1v3 situation, just holding from main. UAlbany has to be aware of this positioning here.
I mean, the stars on the spike, you know, is probably going to pull and try and concuss one. Not gets picked off.
8 HP for Pants here. Like,
looking good. Probably going to try and smoke himself there. And
Tristan finishes off with the Phantom, yeah. And now he's just going to run back for that op. And, dude, oh my god. UAlbany, that Waylay ult just backfired in the worst way possible for Stevenson. Yeah, that was
back sight for that, and they lost that. Is not what we want to see.
I do believe the reason they lost that is just because Devant jumping in the window made himself an easy target to aim at, and already had committed the dashes while entering onto site. We actually saw him get the kill on what's his face? Sorry, Narch with the dashes there, with that opening pick with the Odin, and we just see Narch rebuying the Odin there, maybe thinking, oh, I'll get him this time.
No, yeah, getting inspiration from last week, of course. And, you know, Ruins, which is the back part of A, can be wall bangable, so Odin is really well done there. And we see Stevenson actually looking mid here, maybe getting a pick off a Tot and Art is probably what they're going to try and successfully do. Going back towards A, I wonder if they're going to try and get an A hit again, because who wants to verse Tristan with the op? There's definitely what we look here. Waylay actually saving the dashes this time, which I think is smart. I believe Devon's been using the dashes just a little too early in these fights. So it's going to be really interesting to see here. Definitely, you know, gaining Art here aggressively in the corner. Very unfortunate that Bev was out in the open there to get stunned by the Waylay there, and Narch just going to be stuck on site, and they know where he is. Gets a pick on Devant there, really well done. Might be able to get two, does not. Dives to the Bulldog by fast. It's going to be another retake by Albany here. It's going to be quite difficult, but, you know, they have done more difficult retakes.
Spike planted.
Pyro's probably going to try and pull someone in here.
You are divided!
Grab one. Gets Splash right before the Astro wall comes down. Very well done. See Tristan pick up the Odin there, probably going to spray out. Pyro on top. I wonder if they heard that.
With the Astro wall, most likely not. We see Pants actually looking through towards Art. Fast gets Pyro. And then now we see Maddie just playing this like very weird position through the smoke, but not aware of Tristan's positioning. Tristan's positioning good.
Through the smoke.
Through the smoke. Gets pulled off the bomb though. 27 bullets left in the Odin. Will that be enough to deal with both?
I think it could be, but you know, I think
that's half. Fast with the running gun doesn't quite get there. The bomb is half. Pants is coming in. He sticks it, and Tristan wins the round. Pants does get the frag at the end of the round, but that's just another round win for UAlbany. That's a 2v4 retake.
You know, you would think that Stevenson would try to double swing Tristan there, but they for some reason didn't do that. I wonder if maybe Astro was just too far off site, but Tristan's sticking in there. Not pros always stick. That's the goal.
Pros never fake, yeah. Pros never fake.
So at least Tristan remembered that there and then when he needed to, and you know Tristan just does like you were talking about before, Masato, heads up play, knowing when to drop the op to opt for a better gun for that situation. She's really well done.
Oh my lord, crazy spray by Bev there, anticipating the dash.
Pure instinct right there.
Yeah, that is great by Bev. That's a great kill on the entry fragger for Stevenson. Now we see Maddie for the trade, gets the shot on Bev, while Pants also kills Tristan. I believe that's the op down. We do see the bomb for Stevenson is still left in CT. We do see that Astra is taking so much space. Now up to the pillar and B main, but we do see that UAlbany has two people on B. Patat and Pyro both holding on B. And now we just see Stevenson. Looks like they're just going to exec on this B hit. Pyro with the Phantom on long. gets the kill on Pants, but Splash gets the trade. And now it's a 3v2 scenario in favor of Stevenson. We see Patat and Narj both in link. Patat gets spotted by the Recon. Maddie gets Patat, now it's a 1v3. Narj gets the pick on KO. And we do see that the KJ, or Maddie, is very low. And Maddie with a beautiful shot on Narj. That is unfortunate.
That is quite unfortunate. I think that could have been, Narj might have been able to do that if he did get the pick on Maddie there. I didn't see if he had any util, but being, you'd rather be in a 1v1. We actually see a
UA taking a timeout. And with that, we're just going to take a short little break in the timeout rather than provide the little commentary.
It is almost the end of the half, so very interesting. And we are back for the last round and a half. I wonder why Albany would take a timeout right before the half. Maybe just trying to strategize more for the upcoming half, because they are up 9-2. Could potentially make it 10-2, which is a great spot to be. Either way, they're in a great spot. And we see that Stevenson has no ults online. They're going to potentially get fatal here to get something. Run up being a really aggressive, probably not the smartest play in the last round, gets picked off there. Maybe trying to get a sneaky play on Stevenson there. And we see once again Astra just trying to lurk. But looking to maybe end A here, try to be a little aggressive on A. And we see Albany really split here. Nobody's in mid, that's not a good spot. KJ being all the way in B cannot cover mid. But we do see Tristan using Dimensional Drift, but the Judge gets one on Splash, but Fast does get the refrag. Narj using Fatal to back them off of sight, and they're just running away scared. I mean, I would be too. Yeah, we're going to see Stevenson pulling out of A here, going back towards mid and potentially B. B is wide open as of right now, and I think Pants, the Astra, knows that, and he's running down mid here. Getting kind of stuck under these swamps here. But yes, B is going to be open, and Albany's going to have to, once again, take the retake here. Pyro getting a great frag on Fast real quick.
30 seconds left.
Vandal in exchange for the Stinger. So really good pick going into this retake. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do here. We do see Stevenson getting the lockdown down, for lack of better words, locking 2, and very unfortunate there, and Stevenson is going to take the last round of the half, making it 9-3. A win is a win going into this second half, and we are going to see Albany on attack, and I wonder if they're going to be able to close out this round 2, making it a game 3.
Yeah, you know what they say about the 9-3 curse.
The 9-3 curse, of course.
And, we don't want to see that happen to UAlbany, especially after that loss on map 1.
Of course.
And pardon me for leaving for a little bit. I did have to use the restroom for a moment. But now we're back, and both of us are here, and we're just going to keep providing this commentary for you guys. And now we're just going into the second half. Now we see UAlbany on attack. We're going to have to see what strategies they can cook up with this double duelist comp. So it's actually quite surprising that UAlbany won this many rounds on defense with such an aggressive composition of agents. We actually saw their defense really not as effective specifically because of this on Haven, but maybe on Pearl, like they just have a better strategy for Pearl, I guess.
I know, I wonder what worked here, but we do
see Fast get the early pick on Bev and then just backs off out of Art. Nothing there. You can't even trade that pick there. And now we see UAlbany just pushing through A main very slowly, trying to make as little noise as possible. And we see Tristan just making noise outside of B and then TPing back towards into the spawn of UAlbany and just running towards main. Pants is aware of the positioning though, changing shots. Calm to his team. Now everyone's just going to rotate over. Pants gets Patat and then Pyro gets Pants. Fast gets Pyro. So that's a 2v4 situation in favor of Stevenson. So now UAlbany is going to get the bomb down. They're going to have to try and play this post-plan 2v4 situation. Tristan is playing aggressive, which is what you kind of need to do in these situations. Pop flash comes from KO, but he turns it, but still gets taken out by Splash. Excuse me. Narj gets Maddie, and then Devont gets the trade on Narj. So yeah, 2v4 retake. Nothing going there for UAlbany. So
you typically do want to win the pistol round, but it's not the end of the world. We just have to see if Stevenson can turn this around. Like we saw last week, anybody can turn a game around. But I think UA just has to be a little more confident here. I think maybe the Neon probably could approach site just slightly a little different there. So it's gonna be interesting to see if UA is gonna maybe change their tactic up. We did see them take that timeout at the half, so I wonder, maybe that was their plan, but maybe they have a few more to cook. And we actually see them kind of splitting up here again. Probably trying to take Art here, just take the mid control.
Gotta go.
But we're just gonna have to see running into Art. Fearless here.
Very aggressive take by Patai here. Kind of like how the Waylay of Devon on Stevenson dashed in. KO, Fast is just going to throw that protection flash and just back off. And then we do see UAlbany committing to this Art take, trying to flood the site, but we do see Splash is going to catch a timing on Narj, and Narj gets taken out by Splash, and Fast gets Patah with the Outlaw. Outlaw shot comes in again, misses, but Pyro gets kill on Fast, knowing that the Outlaw had no bullets, and now UAlbany has an Outlaw in their hands, but Devon had yet another Outlaw gets Bev. So now we're just going to have to see who wins this battle of the Outlaws, but it looks like Pyro's actually going to back off. No, not quite. Takes a shot at Devon. Both players missing their Outlaw shots, and now we just see UAlbany stuck kind of in this B-link to like connector area.
Tristan only has a frenzy too, which isn't not
ideal
for the situation. We see
he's trying to retake this space in mid, try and maybe just
anything,
just create some space and try and see if
30 seconds
UAlbany can pivot to somewhere else. You see Splash holding Waterfall here. And we see Pyro just in connector, possibly just trying to figure out what they're going to do here.
I really wonder what the play is here, because we see Tristan kind of just holding back. There are only 15 seconds on the clock. Pyro is going to have to plant here. Tristan's going to have to run up, but Astra is on site. He's going to have to make a play soon. Pyro on top of Ruins, but does whiff on Tristan.
The plant is going to come down. He's getting sprayed through. The spray doesn't quite get him though. But Pan still gets the kill on Pyro and then gets Tristan too with the Bulldog. And that, I mean, that is just good positioning by Pants there. The whiff spray did concern me a little bit, but still able to close out the round. And that's just their second round in a row for Stevenson there.
Yes, but we are going to see Albany on their bye, so hopefully it will work out better for them. Maybe these attacking pistol rounds are just not in their favor.
Right there.
And I wonder if Stevenson's going to stay with this Bulldog and potentially 2 Outlaws on the board, which is and it looks like they are. They have 2 Bulldog, Frenzy, and a Outlaw.
Yeah, so heading into the third round, this would be if you win, if you're 2-0 in a half. You go into your bonus, which means you just get to keep your weapons, or you buy, like a Spectre or something like that, or an Outlaw, which is what Stevenson is doing. It wasn't a very great eco for UAlbany. They're only getting 1 kill on Stevenson last round, so they got to retain most of their weapons, even handing their Outlaw back to the KO there.
Yes, and we see that Albany really split this time. Usually they kind of bring 3 to a site, but no, they're just kind of turtling into site, which was kind of what we saw last.
They're taking a more passive playstyle, which is what we've seen out of Stevenson, but we're actually seeing UAlbany slowly push up mid. Patat narrowly avoids the Fade Dog.
I wonder if he's able to get a pick off that.
And now we see UAlbany just taking into Art and Fast, unaware, because UAlbany still hasn't made a peep, but now Fast still unaware, gonna re-peek into this. Pants gets taken out by Narj, and I don't think UAlbany's aware of the KO's positioning. And then we just see UA just gonna get the down the site.
And we actually see KO go towards Flowers, so it's gonna, and Splash only a frenzy in Ruins is not what you want to see. It's gonna be very difficult retake here for Stevenson.
Yeah, he's kind of just trapped in dugout, and then Devon gets the kill on Patat through the wall. That is actually beautiful. Beautiful shots there. Perhaps he had info. I'm not quite sure how he knew just exactly to shoot there.
I wonder if the Fade Eye got the read there.
Maybe, but we see the whip by Narj, and Devon gets a pick. Tristan gets 2. Splash on Devon. 3 on Fast. Doesn't quite close out the round.
We do have the Astro Pole there. So.
Astro Pole by Pyro. Pyro just slow walking towards Maddie, unaware of the positioning, and Pyro just gets Maddie. Not quite sure what Bev was doing there. Was he baiting Pyro? That was.
Maybe. Not that you want to maybe bait your teammates in a higher play, but Maddie was just in a rough situation there. 'Cause, you know, they kind of knew where they were. You know, if the Astro Pole, you know, doesn't pull anybody, and they knew she's on Spike. Only one place she could be. So.
I'm telling you, man. Pearl is really a good Yoru map. We see actually Yoru has Dimensional Drift online. It looks like he's not even going to buy a weapon. He's just going to solely be an info gathering machine for UAlbany.
Probably just saving money, potentially just going to Vandal.
Yeah, so we do see Stevenson actually doing a very aggressive push-up here.
Yes.
And Tristan is just going to send his TP back towards CT spawn. But we see Pants get a top. Pyro gets Pants and Splash. And then Tristan gets the right-click unult on Devon. So now it's a 4v2 situation in favor of UAlbany. Darch is getting the plan on site. Bev narrowly spots fast and gets the kill on him. And then we just see Maddie, the only person left for Stevenson, just sitting in spawn. It looks like he's just going to save the weapon.
I would too, Massimo, because think about it. UA is going to be up 11-5 if they... Well, it looks like gonna win this round.
Yeah, you can't afford to lose any more rounds. You need to keep the weaponry that you can. And even putting the alarm bot down really doesn't want to get hunted out by UAlbany here. Needs to keep this weapon.
And, you know, really well done by UA there. You know, we were talking about the Yoru Dimensional Drift only being for intel there, and it actually gets a pick off of it because...
and all the confusion, yeah.
Yes, because, and excuse me. We finally see the Neon and Yoru play actually working. So, we were talking about it, and it's finally working with so much chaos happening. You can only focus on one, and we were talking about the Yoru Dimensional Drift just
only a tool.
Confusing and scaring people, and it just finally worked right there, which is great for UAlbany. And they are going to be up in this round, but we see that Stevenson kind of going for somewhat.
They need to force it. They need a round win. If they lose this round, they are going to be flat broke.
Yeah.
And there is a very, very low chance of them winning the next round. So maybe they're just taking a gamble here. They need to buy the best they can to try and avoid losing this round. Try and snowball the round maybe with the Bulldog, grab some Vandals. It looks like that UAlbany is just playing very aggressive on B, knowing or thinking that Stevenson's gonna have far less superior weapons, but they're not sure that Stevenson bought Bulldogs and stuff. We do see Fast only with the Deagle here, but UAlbany with a very aggressive take on B, very contrary to what they've been doing. Pyro with the good shot on Fast, and then Tristan gets Maddie as well. And we see Pants with the one-way, gets the pick on Patat. So now it's a 4v3 in favor of UAlbany here. And Stevenson needs to retake here with 3 people against 4, while UAlbany also has very good weapons. All 3 Stevenson players are outside of CT. We actually see Devon pushing into halls, jump peeking out, doesn't get shot at. Now definitely spotted. The Astro Wall comes in for Stevenson. Pyro gets taken out by Devon.
Face your fear!
See the fatal, really aggressive.
We see the fatal. Very aggressive by UAlbany, just overall. Splash. Devon gets 2. Doesn't quite finish it on Bev. Re-peek is bad. And then Bev clutches up the round for Devon and Splash after Devon narrowly wins the round for Stevenson there. So, not quite the result Stevenson wanted, but they still killed 4 UAlbany players. Patat won't even be able to buy full shield. I mean, and we can still see that Stevenson will be able to force some Vandals here and to give them the best possible chance of winning.
That was very scary, Massimo, seeing Devon get 2 there, even after they kind of forced a fatal out there. So almost a turnaround by Stevenson there, but like you said, they are going to force by these Vandals with only the light armor, so it's going to be another difficult round for them. But they did show that they can do it on the fatal.
Yeah, and we see Bev get the pick on Fast. Maybe a little bit overzealous there. Bev gets the pick on Maddie as well. It's already a 5v3. 20 seconds into the round, not even. And UAlbany's just going to flood into B-Link onto Pants. Pants is the sole player on B right now. The stun comes in. Spray comes in. Not quite hitting anything, unfortunately. Tristan gets the kill on Pants. And now the Astral Divide comes in for UAlbany. Splash gets the pick on Bev and destroys the lockdown. But he's just getting sprayed with utility. Devon tries to get out towards the other side. Patat is just pushing in, but now just runs out, deciding that it would just be better to play with the team in this 4v2 retake. They know that they're both in link, so there's not much that Stevenson here can do. Patat, good positioning against Devon, and then Tristan gets the kill on Fade. which means your UAlbany Great Danes have forced a map 3 for the first time this season.
I know. Usually it's a blowout from these teams, so it's gonna be it's pretty even here, Massimo. See Tristan having once again a hell of a game, similar to Pants on Haven. 356 combat score. That is crazy.
Yes, at this level of play, yes, that is very, very, very rare to see. We do see that Tristan Pyro had themselves a game, and then even Bev in the final few rounds just really showing great just shots.
Yeah. I mean,
excuse me, guys. Jesus, I'm so sorry.
I mean, I think we sometimes forget that Val is, a very aim-heavy game, even though there's a bunch of util being thrown out. But, I think Albany had a great blend of it there, so they successfully did take game 2. And I believe we're going to have a 5-minute bathroom break from both teams, so we will be back in 5 minutes for game 3, which I believe is on Bind, so it's going to be a very
we are going to see UAlbany on Bind again. We love to see
Yoru
UAlbany
again. So,
yeah.
But we will be back for game 3 in a bit.
And we're back for map number 3, UAlbany versus Stevenson University. And we see UAlbany starting on attack here on Bind.
Yes, and for potentially the third game today, we see Patah and Tristan running this Yoru Neon combo. They must love it. It must have been something they've been practicing so much. But this time, going for Fade again. Fade is really good on Bind, so not too crazy. But then opting for Brim and Viper, once again, very typical pick here. I mean, the 2 smokes here is just very effective. And we see that Stevenson also opting to do that. We see Brim and Viper once again. But instead of Fade, they're actually going Sky High for the extra flashes. Chamber for the Sentinel. And we see that Albany may not go a Sentinel.
Yeah, speaking of Sentinel, we're surprised to see that UAlbany is not opting to go for a Sentinel. I mean, because you always want to have that dual smoke composition, but now also the fact that they're running 2 duelists means that they're limiting their other 3 picks. So, like, honestly, I expected Patat to flex back over to the Raze that we normally see him on, but no, it just looks like we're going to stick with the Neon Yoru comp. And Neon isn't a very conventional agent to see on this map at all.
Yeah.
Not much space for her to run around, really.
I wondered, like, really the only route for her to go is elbow on B and for A, lamps.
Maybe mostly just rotational purposes
that
as well
too.
in defense.
But
like
for Bind, you don't really need too much rotate. You have
the
you
teleporters,
have the teleporters,
yeah.
And Yoru can just self-teleport, and so it's not, and Brim has Stim, so it's not really too much of a concern. So I'm really curious to see what the plan is here. Raze, pretty typical on Bind, I would say. A little more...
Raze is very typical on Bind.
Yes.
We do see Raze a lot. We see Yoru a lot. Simply because Yoru just... There's so many structures for him to throw his flashes off. Like, even I have a few Yoru flash lineups for Bind. Like,
definitely no glaze for the Yoru here, but...
No, I'm a very avid Yoru player. And I'm not going to disrespect Tristan here by saying that we're similar, but... I definitely also love playing Yoru on Bind. It's just there's just so much versatility you can do. Your clone makes a teleporter noise as if someone actually went through it. You can just TP across the map whenever you want. It's just outrageous the versatility Yoru has on this map. And now we conversely to the first 2 maps, we see UAlbany starting on attack here rather than defense. So maybe this 2 duelist comp on this very attack heavy map is going to give them a very early lead for the map. Sorry, we see that I think there was an accidental pause in the timer here. Maybe some sort of technical issue. I'm not quite sure what's going on here.
We will just have to wait, but I don't know.
All right,
well, back to it. Maybe a ping issue, maybe something,
Yeah, it looks like we're good. But anyway, resuming now. So back to our normally scheduled activity. We see Fast here with the early peek with the 2 headhunter bullets. Gets the pick on Tristan, but Patah gets the immediate trade on Fast. So now it's a 4v4. And we see UAlbany playing very aggressive. The Raze nade comes in. Deals some damage to Patah here. Bev with the lurk and showers gets Maddie. So now UAlbany just has showers and sight control. But Devon is retaking that lamps control with the pick on Pyro. So that's the smokes down for UAlbany. Hans gets the pick on Bev, so now it's a 3v2 in favor of Stevenson. And then Devon just gets Patah, and now Narch is just 12 HP with the classic against 3 Stevenson players. And just the whiff by Narch. Not even the whiff, but just the lack of a headshot just takes away any chance he might have had at clutching that round. So that is a great retake by Stevenson there, especially after the really good sight take by UAlbany there, getting those early picks in showers and in lamps. That's just it was very well played by UAlbany, but they just couldn't hold the sight for Stevenson's retake.
I agree. We actually do see a Viper lineup here, probably to play both sides.
That probably plays short, yeah.
I mean, just showing the power of Viper here, as we should know. So I wonder what Albany's, we didn't really see too much, crazy stuff from Albany here. So I really wonder what their plan is to do. Maybe Neon stuns lamps and Yoru TPs in. We're just gonna have to see.
Yeah, and we see just Neon running in,
that is what's gonna happen.
dive bombing into lamps. We see Fast holding a little bit further back this time, maybe anticipating that again from UAlbany. And we just see Fast playing a little bit more passive. Tristan gets 2 kills with the classic. Fast gets the trade though on Patat with the Ghost. Still a 4v3 in favor of UAlbany though while they're on the save. And we see Fast still holding steadfast on the site. Catches Narch in the arm there with the Ghost. And then the Viper Ward comes in, just delaying Fast. Fast still just holding this position.
I wonder if the Brim has a lineup. Does not look like he does. He's playing in that, so he tries to molly really close. So just Yep, and that's exactly what
Yeah,
he
we
does.
see
He
Fast
does
get peeped. But Pyro has the Bulldog, which was bought, I'm pretty sure, by one of the Stevenson players.
Last
So
player
that's a good
standing.
snowball, but we see Pants with the judge,
And
which is unfortunate because that takes away all
where
their
is
molly
Bev?
potential since Bev doesn't have it. And they're just staking it. And Bev just couldn't do anything there.
I feel like Bev played a little bit better from Albany there. I mean, I don't know exactly what Bev could have done, but, you know, just sitting there and let's fight, you know, it's being diffused is not, you know, he could have done anything, you know, anything
maybe.
better.
I mean, I think what happened is he left the Brimstone Showers and then they caught an unfortunate timing where as soon as he left, the Brimstone got peaked like double
Probably
swung.
not
and-
anticipating the judge either.
Yeah, and the judge as well, just probably playing close to try and peek off of a tap, just gets taken out by that judge very easily. And we see Fast with the operator on round 3, similar to
Crazy.
Tristan on Pearl last map, and just holding showers. And we actually see UAlbany showing lots of presence outside of B. So Viper, Bev was doing this last week as well on
Yeah,
Bind
but
with
it
this
didn't-
lurk towards A. It didn't really work, but now aware of the operator, just gonna back off maybe, put this wall up, and just try and get across.
Sky is gonna know they are long. Obviously, the bird makes a sound cue when it does hit someone. But I wonder if Albany's gonna commit to the site. So we do see Chamber of the Op rotating over. So it's gonna be very hard to hit the site, especially if he gets a pick. We see
Splash
in the
backing
corner.
himself into the corner.
Wonder if they know.
And then it's Tristan, op diff on Fast. Tristan didn't bot an op as well. We didn't even notice that. Splash with the reposition gets Patat, and then Tristan trades out Splash. So now it's a 4v2 in favor of UAlbany. And we actually
Bev's
see
like
Bev
the
with the lurk on possibly going to catch Devon off guard. Didn't
Possibly
quite
both
catch
of
the
them, 'cause
timing.
they're both pretty far
But
back.
still pushing through CT. Maddie and Devon don't know that they're in for this Bev lurk here. This is the same exact play he was doing last week, and it actually looks like it's going to be quite fruitful this time. We see Pyro with the lineups. We love to see
Love
that.
to see it.
We see Bev almost catching the timing on Maddie. Aware of the positioning exactly, though, just comment to the team. Going to play the trigger discipline here while behind. Maddie gets a kill on Tristan beforehand. And
One enemy remaining.
Bev, a slight little whiff there, but
But
still
all
manages to
good.
get both, and UAlbany recovers the operator as well. Are they going to take 2 ops? Oh, no, okay, he drops it just before the round ends. Having 2 ops would very heavily imbalance
course.
your weaponry there. But we do see Pyro is actually pretty broke here, maybe going to get a buy from a teammate.
What I was gonna say, Massimo, is that I think if Splash on the Sky didn't shoot Patat walking out of Garden, I think you could have killed more. I think if he had just had a little more trigger discipline, because Patat did not clear the corner, he probably could have got 4 there, because it looked like they were just about to
I don't know
trigger.
about 4, but yeah, that
Some-
definitely could have.
a lot.
That definitely could have been more than 1 for sure. Yeah.
So, and we see UA putting Spike mid, very typical play as we've been seeing so much in higher play, just to see what they do. We actually see Viper, as of right now, the only one on B. We do see Splash going back towards B, probably the smart play. And if I had to assume, I would think, you know, all
See
these things
Patat
like
catching
picks.
Pants and Hookah, not quite landing the shots on him. We see Devon just ready to throw this grenade in if UAlbany's going to initiate a Hookah take. And we see Fast just holding this classic angle on top of the tank on A site,
What if he
just
knows
trying to
he's
catch
there?
a pick. Yeah, I mean, it is a very common angle, so I would pre-aim it if I were UAlbany,
Does
but
kill.
the Viper Wall does come up perfect timely, like with a perfect timing. And we see Devon get the shorty pick on Patat. I don't think he saw Bev though, and Bev gets the trade on Devon as well. And then we just see Fast get off of that position because the site is being flooded and he just can't stay there any longer. And now we see
Spike planted.
2 Stevenson players flanking, one of them managing to pick up a rifle as well. Bev not aware of the flank. That's what happens when you don't have a sentinel in your comp. But Pyro does get the trade on Splash. And now we see Tristan holding this head glitch with the operator. But, oh, no scope on Fast. The right click for the classic comes in. Gets Fast with the classic. And then Narch just finishes the round off by killing Pants. And now it's just 2-2.
Their chamber
Even
is
break for
dangerous
UAlbany
from
and
afar.
Stevenson here.
And you know what? We talked about whether the op is a good investment, and I think the last time we were on bind for UAlbany, it actually succeeded pretty well. But we do see Fast saving up again for another op. So I wonder if he's going to try and op duel Tristan again. Hopefully, maybe win this time. Because if you lose another op duel, not only are you down a lot of money, it's also really demoralizing. You know, you're 0-2 for op
I
shots.
think he's buying the op in anticipation that because he has his ult online
Mhm.
to use whenever. So I'm surprised he's actually not using it this round, considering he is forced on light shield because of this. He's just holding B long this time though instead of showers, which is kind of. I mean, and we also do see UAlbany playing a lot more passive than usual.
Yes.
Obviously outside of the jump peaks coming in from Patat here, but those are just kind of to try to get the chamber off the angle. He is just gonna re-peek though after utilizing the TP, but the Fade Dog is gonna spot him, and now he is gonna back off, but he's gonna re-peek again and get the pick on Patat with the headshot as well. And there's just nothing they could have done there, I guess. Chamber just with the double repeat.
We do see Viper Pit potentially online from I believe Bev. So maybe even though Patat did get, it was Bev. So Patat being down there is obviously one person down is not good. But Viper can really turn this this whole round around.
Yeah, and we see this Viper wall kind of prevented Tristan and Maddie from seeing each other. And now we see Tristan, unexpected on Maddie, still manages to get the shot off though. And now we see the Raze all come in, kills Narch, knife out, barely gets the kill on Devon, barely gets the kill on Pyro. And then Devon gets Bev as well. So now it's just a 1v4 situation for Tristan with this op. Honestly, he should just save this op to be.
The Sky Dog.
The Sky Dog clears him out too.
Yeah, he's just gonna run away from foreplay.
10 seconds left.
He's gonna peek.
Yeah, it gets a little exit frag on Devon.
I don't know. He's
Repeaks it. A little dangerous here by Tristan.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Try to free fire. I think. Is he gonna? Nah, I think there's toy with Tristan here. But I mean, we have to talk about that Raze ult. That was just.
Excuse me.
Dramatic, like gets
yeah, the whiff by Pyro there honestly is what kind of sold around there for UAlbany. Like that, both players whiffed very badly, and it was just Devon ended up having the because Pyro was crouch spraying. Devon was able to just get the headshot off there, and now we just see Stevenson has a 3-2 round advantage, but we still have the op in Tristan's possession here, and they're just gonna clear the chamber off of this angle with the Sky Dog.
I wonder if they're gonna.
Is he gonna re-peek this again? Well, this time Patat is peeking while running, making himself a harder target. We see Splash get a pick on Pyro.
They are down smokes.
They are down smokes. Yes, that's true. They do still have Viper, but we see Bev and Devon exchanging shots. Devon has the shorty in his pocket though. Feels Bev.
Shorty, though, so I'm shocked he tried to take that.
Yeah, so much value out of that little 300 credit shotgun, and it's just, it's just I guess it's just better played by Devon there, anticipating the Viper look by Bev.
Maybe.
And we still see UAlbany's kind of sitting outside of Belong here, very scared of this operator, which is perfectly reasonable. And the fast TP's away, gets spotted by the Fade Eye. It's going to have to back into Elbow, so it actually looks like UA won't be able to get onto this site. Tristan gets a pick with Splash after Pants gets a teammate of theirs, and then Pants also gets Patat as well. So now we just see Tristan TP'd all the way across.
He's probably going to plant.
And he's just going to plant for showers, and just going to try and hold from showers.
I wonder if he, somehow turns this around with the op. I mean, the op is really hard in these situations. It is good to a certain degree.
I do anticipate he's going to pop the ult here if the round is unwinnable and just try and run away.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, he kind of has to, because especially with this position he's in right now, he has no teleportation to get out. They spot him on the head glitch, and he just gets his head taken off by Pans. And now not only do they lose the round, they lose the op as well.
And we don't see the eco right now, but I presume that Albany eco is not looking good, especially losing op like that.
No, now that they've lost 2 straight, the only person who will have a decent amount of credits is most likely Tristan, and it looks like Pyro does as well. So I'm not sure if they're gonna buy with the team. We actually do say UAlbany is going to be taking a timeout. Maybe gonna rediscuss the strategy here, especially now that they're aware that Stevenson has 2 ops in their possession now. I'm pretty sure they caught on to the fact that they picked it up. So maybe 1 up a site. I'm not sure what the plan is here, but Stevenson, not only is their economy flourishing, they also have 2 operators against UAlbany's inevitable half buy. So they are gonna have to just take a minute here to discuss how they can possibly flip this into their advantage.
I mean, sure, like you said, the 2 ops is difficult, but if we're thinking a little bit long term, I mean, Fast, if he has op this round, could potentially buy save and just use his ult, and then after that buy another op. He could potentially have op for basically 3 rounds in a row, which is just so overbearing, and
especially on defense.
especially on defense, of course. So I wonder, and it's not like Albany can just use shotguns and play close range. They're on attack, so it's gonna potentially force them to play maybe more aggressive, just try to shut down these angles. So, I mean, like we've been talking about all day, I think Neon Yoru might need to play a little bit more aggressive here to potentially just stop these ops. I know it's kind of contradictory to say just run at the op, but like, if you play far, they have the range.
Well, UAlbany's only hope here is that they can just smoke off the op angles because, obviously the fact that both teams are running 2 controllers, well, it will clog up the map a lot with those op holds, but they're going to have to do it intentionally if they want to hope to get the op off the angle. We do see the bot holding the op angle. Yoru pops the I almost thought he just dragged his feet off the site. We see Maddie get 3 with the damage. Oh my lord. Tristan on-ults on Devon and kills him with the judge, and then Splash kills Bam. So it's still, yet again a 1v4 in favor. The Skydog spots him. Tristan gets the shot on Maddie with the op. We do see also the Viper's Pit is popped in A short, but it's about to go down actually. And we just see the Viper of Stevenson just rapping through showers, maybe thinking that the Yoru might be there, but he's definitely not. And we just see Splash and Fast just holding down this B site, and just we see the anchor by the Viper of Stevenson. But now he actually seems like he's going to rotate because they have the bomb down on site. Tristan doing this TP play yet again.
Yes.
This is pretty much the exact same thing he just did, except a little bit farther down long.
And I think Stevenson kind of catched on to that because he's doing the same play in 2 rounds.
Yeah, and Stevenson, I mean, either way, they shouldn't be budging off of this. They have the bomb isolated in the middle of this site. There's no way that they're going to try and hunt this TP. And Pants just with the spray through the wall, that's brutal.
Yeah, it is brutal, especially that Tristan buying off there. I mean, not the best eco. It's not getting any better. Albany not in the best situation here. I mean, I think if they could get maybe 2 more rounds, maybe end the half like 8-4 even, there's still potential to close it out here. It's just their defense.
It's still going to be rough, especially with no Sentinel on their team. Ideally, they would have wanted to win as many rounds as they possibly could here, but now they're heading into round 8 down 5-2, and it's kind of just everything seems to be going wrong for UAlbany here.
Of course, and they did waste that.
And we see Fast just get the early pick on Bev through showers with the ult. And then we see Patat gets the kill on Maddie with the judge. Slides in the showers, catches Fast off guard. Fast is blinded. And we see Patat grab a Vandal instead of committing to the ult. And
Spike planted.
we do see Devon. They're aware of Devon's positioning in showers.
And he has the op this time instead.
They both had operators. So we see Devon get the pick on Tristan, just dry swinging the op. Is maybe a little bit of a mistake there. We see Splash holding out the flash there as well. And Brim will have Brim has post plant for sure. Yeah, maybe not a lineup, but just heading through into showers to play that molly onto the bomb. So
we unfortunately cannot hear how far off the bomb is, but if he throws his molly, he might have enough time.
But it doesn't look like he's gonna get it off. Pyro gets splashed off the bomb, but Pants gets the trade immediately on the reswing, and they are gonna have the defuse. So, but with 0.95 seconds left as well, so that one's quite close, and Pants is just gonna grab the op for his team as well.
And I believe he did have molly there, so I am shocked that Pyro didn't shoot out the molly during the Brim ult because they potentially could have been peeking him.
I'm more so shocked that he didn't have a lineup in the first place.
And I think, and we saw that a few rounds ago when he also planted behind the box where he had to shoot the molly from showers. Maybe it's worth learning a lineup there. I mean, that's a pretty standard default.
Yeah, if they keep planting it for showers, you should have a lineup for that, yeah.
So maybe that's something to consider for the future. And this op is just so overbearing. Once again, back on last.
Patat gets legged and then just gets taken out with the classic. But Tristan gets Devon after Maddie gets the top. And then the jump shot gets legged again. Tristan with the Bucky gets a Vandal though out of lamps, and see Pyro with the stinger gets Brim ulted. Pyro's just gonna get taken out by Maddie's Brim ult as well as Narch. And now it's just a 2v4 in favor of Stevenson yet again. Unfortunate timing there for Maddie and Bev. So we do see Maddie's actually on for an ace here. Tristan gets fast, and then Tristan just gets taken out by Pants. So they're not quite letting Maddie get the ace there, but still a splendid round there from Maddie. That was a beautiful ult, and just really well played overall.
And funny enough, I want to point out that because Stevenson has such a good eco, I believe all of them are running shorties. And in a map where there's 4 smokers, all around, I think it's really worthwhile to buy shorty in this matchup.
And yet again, on defense, those shorties are so much more valuable on defense than they are on attack.
You never know when because, I mean, beyond just the smokes, you say you spray someone, you whiff your shots, and they start running at you. If the $300 shotgun is gonna, be unexpected around the corner, so it is only worthwhile. So I wonder what the UA is gonna do here.
We see Devant immediately pop the
get away
rocket
from the corner. I mean,
and stands in the corner, gets taken out by Devant. Maybe thinking he could catch him off guard by playing close, but either way gets picked off, and that's one of the smokes down for UAlbany. Flash comes in, Fast manages to get a pick on Narch before getting taken out by Tristan, and we see Pants just gets taken out by Patat backside, and then Power gets Devant. So we actually see UAlbany successfully take the B site here, and now we just have to see Maddie and excuse me, Splash just having to retake this B site, and we see Patat holding from elbow here, and Tristan just also holding from elbow, perhaps assisting Patat here. But we do see Pyro does have the lineup for the B site, and that's just going to come in eventually. And here it is.
No,
it hits. But he's going to try and stick it, but
that was
close. Yeah, the molly almost didn't come in time, but Pyro gets the molly kill and the final shot on Stevenson. So it's 7-3. Still not looking the greatest for UAlbany here, but it's better than 8-2. You know.
So I mean, like we were talking about, you want to just try and win as many rounds as you can, and hopefully Albany can kind of stop this momentum of Stevenson. We do see we do see Viper Pit, and we do see Fatal. So very 2 ults that can potentially take site, and Viper ult can really secure a site. So I think I'll spread it out, but
Patat trying to run into Uska, but Pants just stalls with the Viper molly. You see Tristan pop the dimensional drift onto site, just giving their team all that valuable info. And Patat is kind of just trapped backside, gets taken out by Tristan after the unknown. Seekers come out and don't really do much though. Splash gets taken out by Narch anyway. And now we just see Maddie trying to work through elbows, try and find one. But
Devant might
not quite. And Devant flanking, trying to catch the post. Pyro with the beautiful shot on Devant, not even anticipating the flank, just a really good shot there. And Maddie exchanging shots with a couple of UA's teammates, and just like
Fast being
and Fast is just, it looks like he just wants to save the op here, to be honest.
That and Pyro looking for Bev's flank, because he did do that early on, but it kind of seems like he stopped doing that, and he's opting to really just play together, which I think is working out for them, because we do see them successfully take the round, as Stevenson is saving here, definitely saving that op. Really well done by Albany. The York will definitely work better this time around, and they still do it Fatal, so they can potentially take another side.
Last round in the half.
I think the Neon pick here, we were trying to wonder what the Neon pick here was. I think it's playing kind of like an off-brand raise, instead of throwing a raise nade at someone through your ult, you're throwing a stun.
You're throwing a stun and you're running in and creating pressure like that.
Of course. So I think in that sense it is kind of like an off-put raise, and we did see, unfortunately, the top not do too well on raise. It did not work out too well last week.
Definitely seems like there's a bit of an improvement here on the Neon, especially because your gun definitely, you can shoot while sliding, which as opposed to the gun taking quite long to come out when you double satchel in. Fast actually whiffs the op shot, hits nothing but the dirt, and has to TP out because of UAlbany's just overwhelming presence. And we see the Fatal come in. Pants and Fast are just going to have to respect it, but Fast doesn't back off in time. He's taken out by Tristan. That's the op down. And then we see Pants jump peeking Tristan. Sprays coming in. Shots being exchanged. Pants is very low after this exchange. Tristan is still full HP. And the bomb not quite planted yet. Perhaps stalled by a molly. But now Narch gets the plant down. And the Viper's Pit is top this last round. And we see Bev with the shorty here.
Finally buying that shorty.
Can't quite see. Head clipping through. Gets the pick on Maddie. Not reloading the shorty. Just waiting for someone else to walk through into the ult. Devon with the crazy transfer onto Bev there. That's the Viper's pick down, but we see Pyro with the ult and the post plant here. And that's just going to secure the round for UAlbany 100%.
Very well done.
Nothing they can do there.
Well done by both teams. Like,
yeah, no, it was a good retake. Patak gets 2 on his way out, and then Splash just... The Molly actually missed.
I know, so it actually could have been
It wasn't planted in the spot that... It wasn't planted where Pyro thought it would be, so that actually almost didn't work out for UAlbany.
I know, very scary, but we did see them
win gunfights,
successfully get to a 7-5, which all things considered is not terrible for buying that.
No, that's about as even as it gets outside of 6-6. So that's just you know, you take what you can get, because 7-5, that you were down 7 to what was it, 2 at one point.
Yeah.
So you win 3 rounds straight, and you know this is about as favorable as it can get for you going into the second half. So now we're gonna have to see what type of strategy Albany takes up here in the second half, especially since they lack a sentinel for that classic site lockdown. And maybe they're just going to take to a very aggressive rotational strategy. We'll have to see what they do here. And speaking of aggressive, we actually see 3 UAlbany members taking space heavy down B long. This is kind of reminiscent of what they did on Haven. Flash comes out of the Viper orb, doesn't quite catch anyone. Maddie just tucking in this corner with nothing but a classic against 3 members.
They might see the spike on the ground.
I'm pretty sure they spotted the spike on the ground. Maddie gets one with the right click, gets traded out by Bev, so it's even shots for everyone. Tristan gets fast, Devon gets Tristan and Bev, so now it's a 3v2 in favor of Stevenson. We see Pants on the alert, kind of like Bev was in the first half. Now just opting to rotate back over towards B to help the team. And we see Narch coming in through CT. Narch and Pyro both have classics, so not ideal situation. And we see Pyro only has the Molly online. Is going to get a ghost off the ground, though. And we just see Narch waiting for Pyro, most likely, just to play that retake. Gets spotted by the Sky Dog. So they're aware of his positioning, and they have to be thinking, like, if I didn't see Pyro in the Sky Dog, where could he be? Yes, and they're going to know he's flanked. They're already holding it. Pyro gets splashed, though, and Devon gets the trade on Pyro, so that's a 3K for Devon. And Narch is on the site, throws the C's into Garden. The hookah hold, though, from Viper, just biding his time. Grabs the ghost, nothing going, though. No time, and Devon finishes the round with the 4K. And that is a great pistol for Stevenson there.
I do think Narch played that pretty well, though. Unfortunately, Ray still had the bomb bunny there, so they at least could put some pressure, even though they were grabbed by the Viper. Sorry, not the Viper, the Fade. So, and just very unfortunate there. But you know, pistol rounds have not been doing too well for Albany here. We do see Stevenson buying. You know, it is their buy round. We see 3 Bulldogs, Outlaw, as we've always been talking about. But we do see Albany running more shotguns, probably realizing how
as we realize, or as we mentioned, the shotguns on attack are just so powerful with this many smokes just present in the game. We see UA and we see Tristan and Narch both in lamps, just holding with a Bucky and a Shorty respectively. But we do yet again on map 3, completely different map. We still see Stevenson just playing this default. Bomb is down, and they're just waiting for a pick and then deciding like, oh, if we get a pick here, we're going straight to that site.
And like you said, like they've been doing this on all the maps. I think it's just a play style they're very confident in.
The Fade Dog spots Pants there in that corner, and now after that happens, it actually looks like Stevenson's gonna aggress onto A with the Fade Dog coming in, the Stim Beacon coming in, spotting both UA players in the corner there. Devon gets Pyro and Tristan with the Bulldog. And Narch just holding with the Shorty in here, mollied off by the Viper. Not quite connecting with the Shorty shot there on Pants. Instead, Pants gets the kill with the Bulldog. Bev with the Ghost, not much you can do. Splash just dies to the Spectre Spray. And then Bev gets Devon before he goes out. And then Splash just gets the Shorty shot onto Bev right as the round comes to a close. And
4 on lamps was just kind of hilarious there.
Now, don't let this extinguish your hopes just yet. As we said in the map 1, you don't expect to win the save round on round 2 when you lose pistol. Like that isn't a round you expect to win. And now we see UAlbany is going to be on a full buy outside of Tristan because he forced a Bucky last round. But it's you know, it's still very possible for UAlbany to turn the tables here, and with these guns now, and I think we are actually seeing that the lack of a sentinel is really weighing down on them heavily.
I mean, and not to mention that.
Patat taking a very aggressive angle here. Almost got timing very badly, and manages to run out before. Manages to run out of danger before getting caught out by Stevenson there.
But Stevenson's just playing like they're just playing scary. He's always going in basically in spawn.
Yeah, this
So
isn't
they're just
real.
looking for picks.
This is just looking for picks, and they're trying to just create presence throughout the map, and it's just fake. Like they're nothing about this is real. They're staying alive, exchanging shots, scaring UAlbany out of their positions, and it's just like they're just playing this so well.
But that does come at the cost of util sometimes, so that is something to consider. But they are winning these gunfights.
Yes,
so all
but
things considered, it is working.
They're also baiting util out of UAlbany. So it's an even exchange, and then when they flood site, there's just nothing they can do because UAlbany's kind of forced to split on sites on
30
defense.
seconds left.
And we see Fast get the outlaw pick on Patat, and then Narch gets a judge shot on Devant, and then Maddie gets Narch with the Bulldog. And we see Pyro looking back site, taking advantage of the enemy Brimstone smokes, and just kind of hoping someone peeks into him, because what else can you really do? You see Chamber on the head glitch. He has to check this, yeah? It does check it. Pyro gets fast on the angle.
Probably gonna cut off main here.
You see Maddie staying in lamps with Pants. The Viper Orb just barely not coming up in time. Pants takes out Pyro. Splash gets Bev. Good smoke. The bomb is halved, but the Viper Orb goes down after Bev dies, and Pants gets Tristan. And that is another round win for Stevenson, despite the fact that UAlbany had a full buy there.
No, yeah, I mean, Albany was very close there. If the Viper Orb stayed up just for maybe another second, they could have stuck it.
Well, for that to happen, Bev would have had to stay alive, and that is just unfortunately how it goes sometimes.
Truly unfortunate, and hard to say what Albany does here. I mean, they keep trying to play lamps, and I just don't think it's working too much. You know, Stevenson does have Skydog, they have Raise Nade, and they're also Raise Nade just devious into the lamps. And we see UA playing really aggressive here with pistols. This is not new. This is something they commonly do. But we do see Chamber one Dad trying to get a pick. Probably has an op eventually.
Yeah, we see Fast just waking up. Showers gets a pick on Pyro. Patat with the slide. Maybe I think he accidentally peeked out with his knife out. And Fast takes him out too for the 2K. Stuck on the right side, but Pence gets Tristan as he's trying to shoot into Showers, and then Narch gets Fast finally. Now has a Vandal in his hand, but gets taken out by Pants anyway due to the off angle, and that is just another round win for Stevenson.
Not looking good for Albany here. I mean, as much as we say they can bring it back, as we saw last week, this is just a
and we see UAlbany take yet another timeout here.
Second one. So.
And they're just gonna have to really try and figure out if they can get another strategy going here on defense. Like, this is what happens when you don't have that lockdown sentinel. And let me break this down for you. What Stevenson is doing is perfect. They're taking advantage of this. They're looking for those picks early on, and then using the information from the utility usage of UAlbany, they're deciding what site to hit. And because there's no lockdown sentinel, you need more than one person to anchor a site. So they know that if they flood a site with 5 people, they're only going to be met with at most 3 people. And a 5v3 is always favorable. And yes, it's not a guaranteed win, but it'll get you there majority of the times. And when you're flooding a site with 5 people against 2 or 3, there's just nothing you can do, especially because on defense the rotation on bind is very slow. It's just such an attacker-sided map, and when you don't have a sentinel, it's so little you can do when you're UAlbany here.
I think UAlbany was hoping that the Neon Yoru play they have used today was going to work effectively on attack, but we've just seen that it's not. Maybe Neon is not a good substitute for Raze, and it does seem apparent because Raze just can gather just a little bit more information.
Yeah, we see Devant just getting so much value out of the Roomba, the nade, the satchels, and then just that shotgun combo with the satchels, just so good. Bass is getting aggressive out of Showers here by UA here, gets taken out by Patat, and then Pants gets a trade on Patat and just backs off knowing that there's multiple people there. and UA also backs off back towards site. And so now we actually just see a 4v4 scenario. Both teams down an agent, Chamber for Stevenson and Neon for UAlbany. Not very large losses for either team, to be honest. Especially because we haven't really been seeing much flank in this game anyway by UA so far on defense. We do see Tristan with the op in long. Gets flushed out by the nade. Gets killed by the nade after getting a pick on Maddie. That's a very good grenade. Op is just down, being long.
That's not what you want to see.
And I'm not sure if they're going to pick it up, but either way, UA isn't getting it back, that's for sure.
Toxins going up.
I don't believe Raze has picked it up, because I would have Raze picked it up. Does not look like
Bev spots Devon, but Devon also sees Bev out of the corner of his eye. Maybe Bev was thinking like he didn't get seen, he was going to try and play some trigger discipline, but did get caught out there. And we just see Stevenson just take this site.
Yeah.
And it's a 3v2. It's still very winnable for UAlbany here, but it's just so suffocating. We see two Stevenson players in elbow.
Last player
We see
standing.
Devon get an arch too, and then Splash gets Pyro. Didn't even manage to get a single player there.
I mean, Pyro did have that one brim smoke, so it is, you know,
Excuse me.
you should use as much util as you can. And brim smokes, I mean, the reason they're so strong, especially on vines, because they're really hard to see in.
And
so
it lasts forever.
that too. So I think for this situation, it kind of helps with Raze more, just because she can move around. You know, she usually plays with shotguns anyway. So it's just, I think it just helps Raze out much more in this matchup.
100%.
And it becomes more apparent. This is potentially the last round. I mean, Albany does not really iffy buy here. It's basically a half buy, I would consider.
Yeah, they have to force the best guns they possibly can, because obviously if they lose this round, they go home. And that's not what they want. So we actually do see Patah get an early pick on pants here. Not very on theme today from what we've seen from UAlbany.
I was gonna say, and now they are down their wall into A, so I would say it's likely they're not gonna hit A, but is that what they want Albany to think, just because their wall's down?
Yeah, we see Fast with the Outlaw here,
Maybe actually,
knowing that UA is gonna be forcing, a lot of them are gonna be on light shield, so that Outlaw is just gonna be, it's essentially an operator in this scenario. You see Pyro here with the regen shield. Essentially a light shield when against an Outlaw. You see the pop flash by Sky Command. Pyro gets the spray transfer, gets 3, and then Devon finally gets the trade on Pyro. But the flash comes in, and Tristan gets Devon. That is a great round win for UAlbany there.
A win is a win here. You do want to shut down the momentum, that snowball that Stevenson has built up. And, you know, anything can help here, you know, just one round can turn so much around, you know, the confidence is brought back, morale for the team is brought back, and not to mention the econ is a little bit better now. I wonder if they're just gonna rebuy Vandals, probably, you know, the best they can get. We do see Dimensional Drift from Tristan here online. I wonder if it looks like he's gonna they're gonna play really aggressive out of B. Looks like the whole team is kind of playing aggressive here.
You want to play?
Yeah, so
Let's
I was
play.
actually gonna explain the whole reason. Oh shit! Ooh, I'm sorry. Pardon my language. We see Devon get 2 with the Roomba, and Pyro gets 2 with the Phantom.
What a
And
game.
so it's a 3v3 now. We see the Seekers and the Tour de Force are popped for
And they're all running.
Stevenson, and they all we just see all of them TP towards A, and they're just gonna have this site for free. And we see the Tour de Force like that. We're gonna have to see how that kind of factors into this equation here for this retake. And anyway, what I was trying to say is,
Too far.
with the type of defense that UAlbany is playing here, no Sentinel, it has to be based off of reads. And we can see that last round they had the read, and this round they did not have the read. Well, they did have the read, but they got very unlucky with the Devon getting 2 off the Roomba there. That was ridiculous. And we see Patat tapping the bomb, and then you can see the post-man.
Great.
Splash in
Last
heaven
one.
gets Patat, and then Bev gets Fast. So now, as soon as this Molly dissipates, it doesn't look like they're going to have time, though. The flash is turned, and then Splash gets the final kill on Narch after the Molly takes out Bev. And that is a win for Stevenson in map 3.
So unfortunate right there. Just mistimed the Molly, even by a little bit. Brim Molly is just really fast, surprisingly. And we see Devon doing very excellent pants, very similar, but, you know, Devon, 362 combo score. We've seen people just show up here, and this time it was Devon. We did see Raze just caused such a problem for Albany there. So very unfortunate.
Yeah, and I think UAlbany going into next week is definitely going to have to rethink some of their strategies for a couple of these maps. And we're just going to have to hope to see some improvement from them. Same thing as last week. They did put up much more of a fight this week than they did last week. So we did see some improvement there, but we're definitely going to have to see some more out of the duelists of UAlbany. We did see Tristan on the last 2 maps play pretty well, but unfortunately, the rest of UAlbany wasn't able to compensate. So
just a little bit, I mean, yes, I'll agree.
Yeah. So with that being said, UAlbany is now 2-2, 2 wins, 2 losses, and that is us signing off. We will see you next week. Have a good night, everybody.